106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the chart.
The truth! You can't handle the truth!
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order. I show you out of order.
Hey, everybody, I'm Michael.
I'm Charles.
Out in Vancouver again.
Martin is back home.
Welcome back to the Real Debaters podcast, where the art of cinema meets the power of debates. This week on the show is a yearly event now. We enjoy doing this. We follow this up with whoever wants to come over and hang out. It's Oscar prediction day. It's Oscar prediction debate. We're gonna pick what we hope wins, like in our heart of hearts. And then we're going to pick what we think is going to win because we're realists. Don't piss on our heads and tell us it's rain, right? And then we're also going to mention like why snubs occurred and things that should have been in and things that weren't nominated, so on and so forth. So that is what you have for your listening pleasure this week. And before we get to the madness, the stupidity, the hilarity that you count on here at the show each and every week, there's a couple things we want to talk about. We want to talk about us for a second, so I will get it out of the way. As of this point, it may or may not be a cold hard fact that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trivia has sold out. The tickets have been on sale for a week at this point. We've recorded in advance, obviously, the magic of podcasting we were revealing.
Yeah.
But at this point, it could be that there is no seat for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trivia.
We got 60 calls.
There's a lot. Like that was a teaser poster that we put up, and we were all like, will it? Won't it? It's gonna pop.
We're sold out of advanced carts of fight milk. Like people have bought it.
We're gonna have a fight indoors.
They're ready to diarrhea
Yeah.
everything that they've ever had ever.
That's a Charlieism, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
If it isn't sold out though, listener, and you
get tickets,
get fucking
get them now.
First of all, this is again a Real Debaters Trivia Plus event brought to you by the Real Debaters podcast. If you haven't been to one of these before, we have tried to reconstruct a trivia night, if you will.
We have production.
We
have
do.
production.
Yeah.
It's like if the Coen brothers did your trivia.
Maybe. Not as smart or artistic, but
there's a good production.
Like a
we have
Christopher Nolan
maybe if the
trivia.
Farley brothers
10
did trivia.
first, and then 6 in the middle, and then one last.
Yeah.
But Martin finally got to experience one with Seinfeld #1. We had a lot of fun. We sold out that one.
That was
Sold out show as well.
Sold
by
out.
the way.
This
was a great one.
This is the third.
Green Man's gonna be there.
Rumham.
Might.
Mike, how long did
might be some
Seinfeld
Rumham.
2 take to sell out?
That took less than 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
So less than 3 weeks. How many seats is Seinfeld trivia 2?
Seinfeld trivia has 70 people coming.
So
That
that's
one's
sold out.
at
Seinfeld too.
LBJ.
That amount, short
That's at
amount of time.
LBJ, yeah.
Sonny's gonna be back at the daughter.
Sonny's back at the daughter, exactly. And now we've kind of realized that some of us know stuff, some of us don't know stuff. We don't pretend that we know all the stuff. So I, like Simpsons, do not have a fucking flipping clue about why. I know why It's Always Sunny is great, but I haven't seen it, so I don't have a knowledge base for it. So I will be your Beat a Debater challenger that evening, listener, where you can throw insults. I have no idea what they mean at me, and everyone can have an inside joke. You can ridicule me. My answers will
Mike's
be read
gonna
out.
do Charlie work is basically what's gonna happen.
I think I can spell. I'm not 100% certain. People have told me I spell like
I'll
Charlie.
be your game master.
Thanks.
And,
sure. Thank you. Will you be my Obi-Wan?
Yeah. Green Man. You're gonna have Green Man. Green Man's gonna lead it for you.
I mean, we don't know who's going to be Green Man yet. We will have a Green Man.
We'll have a Green Man. It's gonna be. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
40 questions brought to you by one Charles Fernandes. This is his baby. This was the one he was like, we should do this next. I was like, it doesn't matter what we
on
do
sale
next.
this week as well. So if you need to
Seasons
costume
1
up
to
for It's Sunny,
we're doing
some spray paint.
seasons 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So
prizes to the top teams. Beat a Debater theme, like I said, $10 a ticket. If they haven't already sold out, then grab yourself some tickets. There's limited seating. We can do 50 in that place, like comfortably. So anything more than that, and everyone's going to see each other's answers, you're not going to be able to distance yourself from other teams.
if it's sold out and you really want to participate and you're maybe willing to stand or something, you can show up and we can see what we can do.
Let us know. Let us know.
No promises, but
we did make accommodations.
We did,
so.
yeah. We made a couple for Seinfeld, and it worked out. They were happy. So,
and then Seinfeld #2 is March 1st. That has sold out completely. We are going to have a good time. There's 70 of you coming. We are looking very forward to that. If you're a repeat offender from Seinfeld 1 and you like the accoutrement, we're gonna change it up a bit. We're gonna have some fun. You may or may not have to wear a ribbon. This is just part of the song and dance of Seinfeld. That's March 24th or March 1st. Sold out. Little Brown Jug. We also have another one we are working on at this point behind the scenes. That you have to subscribe to our social media more than our show, but do both, because I can't tell you exactly. It's being workshopped by Little Brown Jug. It has something to do with Pi Day.
Interesting.
And Twin Peaks.
Oh, wow.
There's maybe an event happening, and I'm just filling your ears with information that I can, because if I say too much and we don't do it, then I'm letting people down. But that might be happening on Pi Day, March 14th, 3.14, right?
Wow.
But that's about it. Charles, you have things with Nerdgasm.
Oh, yeah. Nerdies will hopefully be out at this point. If not, they're definitely on their way. They're filmed. I'm just editing them right now, and it's going quicker than I normally do. I did a little bit. It's a little bit of a format switch up, but it's still great. It's basically just my version of the Oscars, but better, and then we do the best and the
Oscars
worst.
we want.
Yeah.
Not the Oscars we always get.
The Nerdies Oscars, and it's best and worst. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You should subscribe to the channel.
And how do they do that?
You can go to youtube.com /CFBum, or just literally go in the show notes.
Yeah.
Mike does a really good job of putting everything in the show notes. You just click on it. It'll take you right there, and then you just hit subscribe.
It's like one link to like everything.
It's never been
One
easier
link to rule them all.
That's
One
right.
link to bind them.
It's never been easier to support.
No.
So there you go.
And that's the easiest way. Like, if you don't want to buy our shit, that's
It's
fine.
free.
I get it. I totally get it. Sometimes I don't want to buy other people's shit. That said, though,
Subscribe to our OnlyFans. It's $50.
It's Martin's feet.
It's Martin's feet. Martin and the Tub feet.
Just the big toe.
Just-
That's it.
Martin's big toe.
Imagine the zoom in on that.
Only toe.
How only toe? That's about it. So, and all the links for all of the aforementioned events are in the show notes as well. So you don't have to look very far if you're listening and it's on your podcast player. Just go into the show notes, motherfucker, and hopefully you get a ticket for something.
We know you guys know how to subscribe.
Yeah, I never thought we'd have to be like, we hope you buy, as opposed to please fucking buy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Just subscribe.
Just
Hit the
yeah.
subscribe button.
Yeah.
Like button.
If you hit subscribe in the next 5 minutes, you get a free skateboard deck by the Real Debaters.
Charles will send you a
We
picture
have
of his
them.
big toe if you hit subscribe right now.
Yeah, and I don't do that for anybody, so...
and if you go to our OnlyFans, my big toe and Martin's big toe might be in the same sequence.
Oh, my God.
BigToe.com.
BigToe.com.
All right, you want to talk about some shit?
Sure.
So we did.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Martin? What's up, Charles?
It was Oscar time?
What's up with that? No,
Are we...
we're
yeah.
What are we doing?
I think we should start
SNL
there.
50th.
SNL 50th.
Big thing.
Did you catch the SNL 50th weekend special, Martin?
Did not catch it. I haven't watched SNL in a while, to be honest.
Totally fair.
Totally fair.
Like, where do you watch it? I don't have cable.
Global.
It's global for free.
So Global has a free app,
Yeah.
and yeah, you can watch it
Maybe I'll
on
check
there.
that out.
Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours long.
It was long.
It was very long.
But it was understandably, like, it made sense. It's a big deal. It's a landmark thing.
It deserved more than the allotted time that they have to stick to each and
Yeah.
every week. It's
Yeah.
like, here's 3 hours, play.
And they made it worthwhile. Like, they had literally everybody you would expect. Like, they had
Totally.
every celebrity there.
Yep.
They had huge character throwbacks and shout-outs. And
Uh,
Eddie Murphy fucking crushed it.
who really crushed it, and I know this will be a good thing for Martin, is Colleen Rafferty made an appearance.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
clips that she's back.
I can't believe Meryl Streep's never hosted. When you realize that she's never hosted ever, it was
It's a
like,
little insane.
huh,
It's like,
kind of fucked.
you're like, really?
She's like one of the most, decorated Oscar winners, like in terms
Nominated.
of an actor?
But she's got a ton of wins, too.
Nominated,
Yeah.
But
nominated.
most nominated. I
Yeah,
think.
right?
She's
You
the
would
GOAT,
think, like,
right? We
right.
don't-
And she's a character actress. Like, is that
Exactly.
not perfect for SNL?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of fucked.
that being...
She can do anything.
She can do anything. For
More
sure.
Meryl.
I really appreciated Tom Hanks's memoriam to not just dead cast members, but to offensive sketches.
Okay, so I really appreciated that. I thought that was really funny that they actually acknowledged it in the funniest way possible.
Martin, they recognized every moment that may have hurt
like
the
anytime they did
audience.
blackface, brown face, and then they did reverse too. They did like their most racist and offensive sketches.
Martin,
like,
did you see the sketch between Chevy and Pryor, where they're referring to each other in derogatory names?
oh shit, yeah,
And then Pryor
I remember that one. I think I remember that one back in the day.
honky.
dead honky,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
like they
yeah.
even went, and I was like, are they gonna edit
Yeah,
it? Are
they
they not
did.
gonna
Yeah,
edit
I
it?
mean that was one of the biggest. That's a huge pivotal SNL moment,
Totally.
right? Yeah.
I missed, like, it was weird to miss Dan Aykroyd, but I mean, I think he had scheduling conflicts. Bill Hader definitely had scheduling conflicts.
But Bill Murray was pretty funny on Weekend Update. The way he did that was pretty great.
Bill Murray did a best of Weekend Update hosts.
Oh, but first he went the best black hosts,
Yes.
and it was just Michael J.
Yes.
And he's like, "Good job, man!" And he's like, "Thank you, I'm really honored." And then he brings up another board, and it's like the top 10. No, regular. And then Shay's like, regular?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that even mean? And then he keeps he keeps looking at Colin every couple minutes, and he's like, "Do you think it's going to be you next?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be you?"
And then one of them was Colin Quinn. He's like, Colin Quinn. Yeah. Yeah, that was
But
good.
I mean, all in all, it was great. I mean, I think the highlight of it was the start with Tina and Amy doing crowd work.
Yeah, that was
with all the
fucking
questions
hilarious.
and everything. John Hamm.
I love
My
what Ryan did too. I thought that was really funny.
listener, if you missed it,
That kind of killed me, man.
it's kind of hard to miss it because it was all over the internet. But like, Amy and Tina both were like, "Hey, so how you doing, Ryan?
Yeah,
how
they're
things
like-
been?" And Ryan's like, "Why? What have you heard?"
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good. Why? What have you heard? And then Blake was right there, and you saw her face. And that
I
was
don't think she knew it was coming.
No, she didn't. No.
No.
The SNL writer, actually, the head writer came out and said that he swapped out the line they wrote. So they
did
wrote a
Wally,
different
the
line.
cue card guy.
That's right.
He confirmed it too
That's
on a
right.
podcast.
So
And like
they
no one knows
swapped
what the
out.
original was.
Yeah.
But-
so Ryan, that was all him, which makes sense. That's what he does, right?
That's
Like,
exactly what he does.
Yeah.
But that was fun. John Hamm, am I funny? Do you guys find me
Fucking
funny?
John Hamm was so funny, man. Like that was hilarious.
He's great. For
It's
like someone
hilarious.
who's a serious actor, he's like
Yeah.
the funniest guy.
I know. Like you see Don
He's on
Draper.
funny roles now. Hey, did you notice that?
Yeah.
He
A
is.
lot of his stuff is all funny
Since,
roles.
Yep.
After Mad Men, it's all funny.
His Fletch, I don't care what
Bridesmaids
anyone says,
did it for
his
him.
Fletch movie was really funny.
I
It was
just
good.
felt
I
He
loved
was
it.
fantastic.
I like this
Yeah?
Fletch movie.
He was great. He was really good as Fletch. I really liked it.
The musical performances were a little weird. Miley's was a little weird.
I didn't like Miley's too much. I got it, like I understood it, but I was like, this is weird for SNL.
that's
like
also-
the Lonely Island one was phenomenal.
Lonely Island was amazing.
That's what it should have been. All of them
Was-
should have been more of a
Do
medley.
you think Kevin
They should have just done
Costner?
all Lonely Island songs.
Yeah.
So they got into the crowd, and it
Andy,
got
don't be a bitch. I love that Lady Gaga called him that.
when Kristen Wiig
I
came
do
out.
not think Kevin Costner liked that at all.
Who was next to him again? That was
Jenna Ortega. She was a way better sport, but I do not think Kevin Costner liked it.
Yeah, and then Cher had her hand on his crotch.
Yes,
High
and
up
then
on
was,
his thigh.
and then she was also holding her like 20-year-old boyfriend's hand too.
Maybe she thought that
Cher's
was-
awesome. I mean,
Hey,
she's a
good for
fucking
her.
rock star, right?
I got no problems.
She's
with
a
it.
fucking rock
I'm just
star.
saying,
Good for her.
Like, was Kevin Costner like
He's like, oh, okay.
Yellowstone?
I guess Cher wants to fuck me today. Cool.
Yeah, fine with that.
Like Cher, I think Cher is like like Prince. Like she has so much star power. If she puts her
She's
hand on your
transcended
thigh,
for
you're just
sure.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm with
It's like
Cher
Madonna.
right now.
I mean, what are you gonna
so
do? It's like Madonna.
Yeah, you're just
Madonna
like,
puts
hey,
her hand on your thigh, like
I'm
all right, I
on
guess
their
it's happening.
time, so okie doke.
All in all, it was a great.
I
was
will
great.
accept sexual harassment from Cher and Madonna.
I would too,
That's what-
dude. I'm not
that's-
saying-
I guess that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'll
No one's
accept
gonna be like,
sexual
She
harassment
keeps
from.
saying if she could turn back time, and I get it now. So sure,
Hang out with me. Maybe we could find a way.
yeah.
Anyways, it was great. If you want to watch it,
It was
listener,
really good.
Martin,
I was really impressed.
It's on Prime through Global, and it's also through the Global app for free. If you
Yep.
don't have it through.
Can
It's-
you watch the global app on Prime just without signing up? You just load it up? Or
No,
how does
just
that
go to
work?
the Global app.
Yeah, because the global app's free, and if you like, so the way the global app works is it's free. You have 4 or 5 days to watch it for free after it.
The most recent week of it, I guess.
Right
Yeah.
after it airs. After that, you just have to create a free account and sign in for free, and then you have their whole catalog. So then you can like
cool.
you can watch like previous seasons of SNL and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
Okay.
Global's,
It's good.
Global's good.
Yeah, it's impressive. I don't know how that shit works, but I like it.
Do you know what's not impressive?
Oh, tell me,
when
Mike.
legacy owners of specific cinematic properties are offered enough money to eventually be like, well, it's stupid if I don't take it because it's worth 5 times as much as it was before, and then sell their rights to a tech company who thinks that they actually are a movie studio, which I appreciate what they make, but they're not a movie studio. I'm referring to the moment this week where Barbara Broccoli sold her creative control rights for $1 billion
Yeah.
to Amazon MGM
Is that what it was?
Studios.
That's what it was, eh?
It was a cool bill.
It sucks that they. Oh, there's so much. But like, it's insane that they had so much creative differences, but no matter how many creative differences you have, there is an answer of money to what'll settle that
And
mentally.
you're fucking moronic if you think it any different. Like at some point when someone's like their desire,
Especially how public their creative differences were. Like they've been pushing Bond because they don't agree on anything. That's not good.
Martin, to catch you up on this, it's basic.
Yeah, no, they sold the rights. I read it when we were thinking.
So
but,
they still.
I don't know. I don't know if we should give someone control of who likes the movies. You know what I mean? Like who loves Bond movies.
That's
not
what I mean.
A studio who was just look what they did to Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, I don't mind it, but it could have been so much better.
I like the Rings of Power show. I do, but like I get what you mean.
I like the story of it, but I think
they're doing too much. Like they're jumping, they're doing stuff
they
that's not
tied it in
considered
a bit.
canon. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
well, that's what's nervous about Bond.
Well, I made a post about it, and I think maybe other people agree with me or not. Tell me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, listener. But like, you're gonna get James Bond at McDonald's now.
Well,
you're gonna get the things that you don't want from James Bond.
He's drinking cola like a Pepsi and just looking at the camera.
You're gonna get product placement.
It's gonna be like that Wayne's World clip.
You're gonna have series that, because they have the creative control of it and the rights. That was the last holdout.
What I was reading was a big creative difference that was pissing Barbara off. Was
Barbara Wawa?
They were trying to really push like a 20-year-old Bond,
a pre-Bond.
Like, yeah, but
a gold Bond.
But it's not even like his early years, because that's what was cool about Bond was he became a 00 later in his.
You have to work to be a 00. You just don't get
right.
You're not just a whiny millennial who wants a 00.
What if we saw him as a TSA agent first, and then we see him slowly go into? And obviously, it's like
back.
No,
maybe early academy, like British Royal Academy.
Still, no.
His first mission.
We know what he does, though. Like we know where he gets to go. Let's just see more. Again, the novelty of Bond is it's like a different book, like different set of location, but it's the same guy. He's got the experience, he's got the knowledge, but he's in a new case.
So you're saying to me you don't want to see a Bond like the Batman with a young, inexperienced, maybe hasn't become a womanizer or an alcoholic.
That's
yet.
one franchise I can say like no.
I agree.
It doesn't appeal to me really.
No, I agree.
It doesn't.
I agree with you,
because
Martin.
I like the fucking sharpshooter. It's even like Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible. In the first one, he's young, but he still has the edge on everyone, and he's still great. And then where we see him now, it makes sense. He's jumping off of planes and shit. But do you know what I mean?
He breaks his leg in the middle of a shot.
I don't want to go back to seeing him like, oh, he's nervous driving a car for the first time.
Martin, what are your feelings on this?
I don't think he'll be nervous driving a car for the first time. Well,
not nervous, but just skittish.
I don't want like a CW Bond. That's what makes me nervous. That's what I see.
It's going to be a movie Bond, like a movie, like what.
But they can do what they want. They can do a TV show. They can do a movie. They can fucking do an animated show. Like that's what's scary about this. They can do whatever the fuck they want with Bond now.
What they should do is they should give every intellectual property that I care about the Witcher treatment. Like Henry Cavill's like, okay, these first few seasons are good. Then when it gets bad, he's like, no, fuck this, I'm out.
Then it's funny that he did that. He was like,
you know what I mean?
okay.
Like if they fuck around with it too much, like we're just gonna pull the plug.
Well, everyone's
I don't want this.
People are now they're bringing that campaign back. It's funny you mentioned that. But they're bringing
Game of Thrones.
They're bringing Henry Cavill back. That whole campaign's coming back, and they're at Bezos now. So at Jeff Bezos, we want Henry Cavill. And again, now that Amazon doesn't need to talk to anybody else, it's going to be interesting. I don't think Cavill will do it. I don't.
Well,
I think he's really excited for Warhammer and shit.
He's doing Warhammer. He's not going to do it.
I don't think he'll do it. He doesn't want to be burned. He's going to get the Superman treatment, and he doesn't want that again.
Hang on. The leaking of the Henry Cavill James Bond tape
was awesome,
but is also a week before the announcement.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It's a seed. It is.
So if you buy the rights to a thing, right, you inherit the rights to everything that made it.
That's right.
For example, the props,
GoldenEye 2.
the costumes, all of the things
Yeah.
that made
golden
the
gun.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Probably get warehoused somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're including the rights to all the audition
Yeah.
tapes that were sent in. So they have the information.
But the thing is, too, that audition tape was, almost 30 years ago now.
I know, but what I'm saying is 30 years, fuck that. Who cares?
I agree. I would love to see Cavill in that role.
Sparking the idea a week after you get the rights.
And imagine Idris Elba as the villain, because that's what I like. Like, don't get me wrong, would love him as a Bond, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I could see him as a villain.
Oh, for sure.
I think he'd be a
I
phenomenal
want him as a Bond.
I think he would be an awesome.
Whenever
Bond.
someone asks him like Idris Elba,
I think he would
fucking do it.
Even if they just do one movie like a Logan, like a one-off. That's what I was kind of like. I told.
That's what you're going to get, Charles. You're going to have these.
It could be interesting.
8-episode miniseries Bonds.
No, not like that. I mean, like a one-off, like fucking movie.
No, they're gonna. But this is what they're going to do because they have the creative control.
Ugh.
So you will see an 8-part miniseries.
But
on
what
the
could be
Bond.
neat?
We're gonna see for series. I think we'll see Q.
What
we'll
could-
see a Q series?
What could
Sure.
be
That's
what
neat
you'll see.
is
Not a
like
Bond series.
something that we don't have lore of. So, like, is there an academy that they need that trains double O's?
It's called MI6.
So it's just
It's
MI6. So
It's based on.
so they could just like doing a show on MI6 could be interesting, but we don't even necessarily need to see characters that interact with Bond. But if they do,
I think what you're talking about is
it'd be
you
the
want-
same cast.
You want a series about the 007 training campaign.
Well, it's something that they don't have to
Because-
rely on Bond. It has enough of its own to go, but if it ever needs to overlap,
that's what's
it's
elusive
there,
is
right?
is
like
how-
S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess.
How to become
That
a
makes
00 is unknown. So if you're talking about like
to get their license to kill, but like what puts them on that mission?
you
right.
want a Continental series for James Bond, but for
I could see that
the
being
Bond-
interesting.
The
Yeah.
Bond aspect, like
Yeah.
maybe not.
Like I'm more into that than a Bond show where it's like
I'm too.
007 mysteries or
Yeah.
you know what
No,
I
I'd
mean?
be
Like
down with that.
I'm more into that because to me, and again, it's just the way that we've grown up with Bond. I still see it as a movie series.
It's formulaic and it works.
And I
Why
don't
are we
wanna
fucking
lose
with
that.
it?
I don't wanna
no,
lose
I
that.
agree with you 100%.
So if they do want to have that fucking TV bug like they all do, the studios, do something like MI6 where I don't think a movie of that would make sense.
Do a Moneypenny spinoff.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah, dude,
Yeah,
seriously.
you could do that.
Something.
And then if that character needs
The
to
side
show up
characters. Those are the TV shows.
and you sign contracts like Marvel where if those characters need to show up in a Bond movie, it's the same actors.
Those
just
aren't just Marvel contracts. Those
that's
are
what,
everybody
that's what the
contracts.
MCU is doing right now. They
Yeah.
do all the side characters as TV shows, and then all
That's
the main
right.
characters will get movies. But then
right.
the side characters
And then when they
will
show
eventually
up,
get movies
so
in
that
the
could be
end.
cool. It could be cool,
You
and
know
there's
what?
a lot to play around with there. And like again, this whole idea of a female Bond, you don't do a female Bond, you just have a female like 008 could be this new character, and we follow her. And why can't her and Bond team
Well,
up?
007
And it's the
isn't
same
the only
actress.
one, right?
We
There's a
haven't-
006.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and I always tell people, I'm like, why would we do a female Bond? There's 00s. Why can't it be 008, 009? We
Yeah.
literally don't know
Because Sean Bean was
anything
what,
about
in
the other
GoldenEye? Sean Bean was
00s.
Was 006 or
He was a
00?
006. Yeah, he was.
006.
And he remember we thought he died, and that's why Bond was like,
How many other movies have we had where we've had two 00s in one movie?
That's what I'm saying.
GoldenEye.
It's an agency. It literally is. Even in Mission Impossible, we have reoccurring agents that are now just part of his team.
yeah.
Right? Like, so I don't see why Bond can't have that. And like,
There's more than one agent for the
that's
Impossible
what I'm
Mission
saying.
Force.
Exactly. And I think it's more creative. I think it's more special if they can make a new franchise that focuses on a female agent and build it like that.
Do not.
Right?
Do
Instead
not-
of just being wishy-washy and being like, Bond but girl, bam.
Let
right?
me
Like,
Give me Anna de Armas back from that Bond, her character from
Yes.
Bond
Yes.
movie.
well,
That's
look
what I want.
at what John Wick's doing. Instead of it being John, you know, a female John Wick, we're getting Ballerina, which is a whole new chapter, a whole new side of this lore we've never seen, and it's gonna be so cool.
I always want to say that there is nothing wrong with a female Bond or a male Bond. If it was
I'm
only,
all for it.
If it was only female Bonds and no male Bond, it would be wrong to take all of the work that went into the female Bond story and co-opt it into a male version.
Yeah,
Just as much as it's wrong to take a male story, it's even worse to co-opt it into a female version because it's like you couldn't think of anything better. You couldn't give it its own voice.
Well, and in Daniel Craig's, they toyed with it in an interesting way because it was he retired the number. And while you're not supposed to be able to do that, if he did, then technically it could be recycled.
It's never been
And then
done.
there was another agent who was a female who was a 00. But when he came back, it was like, you're taking your number
also,
back.
what's her face?
Right?
Who was Moneypenny? Who shot him?
Yeah. Right.
How she, like Martin says, how she got to be there. Like, why is Moneypenny trained?
And why won't she fuck Bond?
She has standards, right?
Yes.
There's lots of.
She
women.
doesn't want to catch anything. It's smart.
Moneypenny's not supposed to be a Bond.
She's
girl.
like, you'd be
cops.
Yeah.
You'd be perfect if you weren't a whore.
You guys made a good point about how Marvel's doing the television series to complement the movies. Speaking of Marvel, we have a trailer.
Oh yeah, fuck me, a really great trailer. I think a trailer that people didn't expect to be this good. What?
I like the trailer.
Yeah.
I do not like the CGI.
Of Thing?
I do not like it.
Oh man, really?
I understand the classic relevance to it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like practical.
I get
That's
it.
just a choice.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
You want Michael Chiklis back?
I want Michael Chiklis back.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do.
Yeah.
But that's my only real critique is, and like,
You know what threw me off the most, which is so funny? It wasn't the CGI. When I saw the CGI, I was like, holy shit, comic book. It was the voice.
He was wearing a Green Man suit.
It was the voice. I thought
Really?
The voice threw me off guard because it's just the actor's voice. I thought he was at least gonna be like, but I get why they didn't do that. I'm like, I get it, but I don't know. I was like, fuck, but it's like,
just a little garlic.
but it's the same. Like we don't have Hulk. Just like Hulk is fucking a smart person now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, but it was just it was funny, and the bear
Poison
reference
brain.
was hilarious.
Just for taste.
Hilarious
Right?
that they decided to do that.
Martin, what did you think?
I'm loving that cousin is the thing. So
I'm loving that cousin. I'm loving that he's getting work. I like him.
He's a
lot.
really good actor. He's good. And you know what's funny? People aren't talking about. So he was in the Punisher show.
Really?
And that's
he's also in
yes.
Andor as well.
Yes, and that's technically
Andor. He was great in.
Yeah.
He's great in Andor.
Fantastic. And that's the Punisher is technically part of the MCU, but I like that they're just not acknowledging that because they're not going to do anything with that.
Well, if he was a side character that they can write out,
He was the guy, the guy that supplies him eventually. Punisher. That's who he was.
like the guy who supplies John Wick with the menu.
Yeah,
You have a
yeah. It
delectable
was like,
amount of choices for you.
But I liked. So I really, you know what I love the most about it is it's a traditional teaser.
Yeah,
It gave us stuff.
Well, it's a traditional movie. It's
but
set in the 50s.
Yeah, and
right. Like we have
yeah.
you have a whole set of values and morals of a time gone by that
And
we don't get in movies anymore.
It's cool seeing the space race with like from this perspective because it's interesting it makes more sense that Stan Lee wrote the Fantastic Four when he did because of the space race,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So seeing that actually play out, it's like, holy fuck, this makes way more sense than
I like a Mr. Fantastic. I fucking hate an Elon Musk.
Yeah,
right? Like if we're gonna focus on the
yeah.
space race right now,
Yeah.
let's go into comic books because
Yeah.
the reality of the situation fucking sucks.
Also, no Doctor Doom, which is very smart because is that RDJ,
not yet.
right?
They don't need him at that. It's still
Right.
They're gonna bring him in. It's less
But
too
they're
early.
also
This is
being
the
smart.
introduction to
I agree.
Fantastic.
Because this is going to be a huge surprise because if it's RDJ, then that's another like, huh? And if it's not RDJ, then we know variants, right away, like
or
variants.
not at all,
right?
and save both for a movie.
Because Galactus, they made an effort to show Galactus.
you
in the
don't
trailer.
want to have
They made an effort to
Spider-Man
show.
versus Venom in the first movie.
No, you don't. You're
I agree.
right.
I agree. You do
That's-
want to build
that's
up.
That's a prom
Build it
night
up.
pre-ejaculate
Also, they're
situation.
when they bring them into. You love whenever I say this, but when they bring them into Secret Wars, it's going to be interesting because will
Secret
there be?
Wars is your true north.
It is.
I mean, it's mine too, but like
It's because I know what Marvel's doing. That's why, like, to me, no offense, but Cap was like, because now that I know Secret Wars and Doomsday's on the way and Fantastic Four, unless you're giving me shit from that, I don't care.
yeah, I agree.
I love Anthony Mackie as Cap. I think it's great. I think he's awesome. I think it's so cool that we get to see someone actually carry on the torch rather than new actor reboot.
Well, and
it's
I
cool.
I know,
you know?
I know how they worked around no superpowers. I've
Yeah.
heard that. Have you heard that leak?
Yeah, like I know enough about it
Martin,
that I'm
do
like,
you want to know that leak?
it's cool.
What's the leak?
Well, not the leak, but just so Mackie has some help from Wakanda, and the suit is made out of this. The wings are made out of
Oh
the
yeah, I
same
knew that
material.
already.
Okay.
I knew that when
yeah.
they had the first one. Like he's
Yeah.
he's basically Iron Man. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, his suit absorbs power like
It does. Yeah.
T'Challa's did. Yeah.
Like the Wakanda thing. Yeah.
And again, and it makes sense. And again,
Yeah, I
it's
like.
cool.
Yeah,
It's cool.
as long as you acknowledge it instead of try to fucking like MacGuffin it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
But what I like too is I think Marvel is at a point, even with whatever they're going to do and the outcome is, at least I am, I don't feel the pressure to watch everything anymore. I'm more than okay with being like, cool, I'll see it on streaming, or maybe I won't. But like Daredevil, I'm like, that I do know I want to see. And again, if I care enough to be like, wait, what does this mean? If I care enough about
why would you want to care
something, I'll Google it or look up clips on YouTube. Right? Like, I don't think I need to see, like, because I remember I made myself watch the Black Widow movie thinking, like, I have to understand something.
I still haven't seen it.
You don't need to. It's not important.
It's okay. I mean, it's not great.
You were
but I don't think it's pivotal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's pivotal to anything.
You were
like,
FOMO'd in.
Yeah. Again, it was a smart COVID move. They're like, fuck, we have nothing. Let's do it.
It's a January dump in the middle of the pandemic.
That's right. Right. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. I know
I think it looks awesome.
Right. I like.
It looks really cool.
I like the change of scenery. It's
neat. It's neat to see an MCU in the '60s.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got it for
alternate version of Earth.
Yeah. You got it for a brief moment in Endgame when he goes.
We saw
back
that in
to
Doctor
the base.
Strange, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of alternate versions of Earth. So we get to see one now. It's like, all right, let's live in another this alternate version of Earth.
We didn't actually see Mr. Fantastic use an ability for the most part.
We didn't.
We got to see everybody else.
But did you see the dirty screen?
Yeah.
When Johnny flames on.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like the screen itself. Like
it starts flaring. It actually starts burning up. Like, so that was a nice touch because that's something a comic book would do.
I'm talking about the mistake where like fingerprints were rubbed across the screen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when he first ignites that it actually flares up. And
that looks cool.
That was neat.
But in that shot, it looks like someone moved the camera with their fingers. Oh. And then when the glare takes place, you just see this. Like,
what I thought was funny, and I'm not shocked, is these fucking sleuths that are just these MCU sleuths. So that quick shot of Reed Richards writing with the chalkboard.
Sure. What's the algorithm?
So on this side of the chalkboard, it's his theory, and he actually writes it, is a bridge to multiverses. So he's already in the 60s. This Reed Richards already believes that there are multiverses, and he's trying to figure out if there's a way.
Does it look like
bridge?
Does it look like the bridge in Loki? Like how it all the strands.
It's like a web. It's kind of like a web thing, and his bridge thing is very comic booky. So they freeze framed it and fucking superimposed it, and you can see it. So I'm like, so again, and we know like the fact that they have officially announced Doomsday Secret Wars. So I'm not only excited to see, like, it's so cool that we're at a point in the MCU where they're going to introduce a very iconic superhero team, dropping them in a whole new time era. We're just getting dropped into it. And then something clearly is going to happen that's like, because they're going to bring everything all back together, right?
It's so weird because they go back and forth. Like, I mean, X-Men big in 70s, 80s, right? Spider-Man big 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Captain America huge 30s, 40s. Like, there's eras of comic books, but they've skipped the 50s a lot.
Yes.
Right? They've really they haven't focused on the family dinner roast beef Sunday.
Well, and that's what it was.
They
it
made
was
comments
the
about
superhero family, right? That's what
exactly.
they were.
And it's like, okay, what's going to break that?
You also have made a good point. For all we know, and this could be something that they're really like laughing because we have no idea. This is a multiverse. This is a different timeline. Maybe there is a 1960s Spider-Man. Maybe there's a 1960s Tony Stark. Like maybe there's
it could be anything
for sure, right? And they could already, because we know that we're getting what's her face, the chick from that Netflix show with Jason Bateman. She's Silver Surfer.
Oh,
and they didn't show her at all. Madonna, the one that's supposed to play Madonna.
Was playing Madonna.
Yeah, she's not, or they didn't show any of her, and she's supposed to be Silver Surfer. They announced that. Right, they showed a shadow of Galactus.
They showed his one hook, like his one head,
and that's a lot. That's a lot for a first movie. But again, Marvel, with good writing, you can drop us in the middle of a universe, and we'll be like, yes, please.
Yeah, totally.
Right, like
Martin. Final thoughts before we get into the meat and potatoes of today.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Fantastic Four. They got a good cast. They got Vanessa Kirby, Pedro Pascal,
amazing.
And Cousin. Who else? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Internet
good
Daddy.
Cast.
Yeah, no, you do. Pedro Pascal can't do no wrong right now.
I liked seeing him in the trench coat too. I like seeing him in that nice sweater vest and trench coat.
Sweater vest.
It was cool. Yeah, no, it looks really cool. It's nice to see new life in the MCU. Going on into 30 years, basically. It's really neat.
Well, from Afghanistan, Iron Man Jericho missiles. Now we're
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
It's
Like,
really
that's where
true.
we started.
It's really true. And we got a
Dude,
Hugh Jackman
guys,
in a yellow
guys,
suit Wolverine. Like,
we're now going. They're going to move
comic
that,
book.
They're going to move that needle further back when the mutants get involved.
Yeah.
Because then they will reference to 99, 97.
Well, and for all we know, there could be a 1960s
Wolverine.
X-Men in the Fantastic Four, because like Days of Futures Past is seeing the X-Men
Do you
in
know
the 70s, right?
what would
First class.
Do you know what would be
First
really-
Class, right. There you go.
Do you know what would be really cool?
If this is what brings the X-Men in?
No. Yes, of course. No, what I think would be really cool is that you mentioned that he's got a diagram of multiverses.
Yeah.
It would be cool that the first big what the fuck reveal is he is in a multiverse and they are aware of it.
Yeah.
And that
In the 60s.
In the 60s.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's not just the starting point and
Right.
then we find multiverses.
Right.
We're in a multiverse already.
Also, is Galactus aware of this? And then what's that motivation?
My
right?
multiverse.
So, right.
Sorry, I know you want some.
So,
Maybe you'll get it from. Anyways,
so he did say he was
Kind of
going to
looks
say.
like a pair of goggles. His drawing.
Cousin did say he was going to say it's clobbering time. He is going to say the line.
he doesn't.
He
need
got
to-
it.
He's
He got
gonna.
it.
Yeah, they said
He
that they'll have their catchphrases like, what's his name? Johnny's gonna say "flame on." Like they're gonna have their moments, and they need to.
I like more that we. It sounds like a guy who's going to serve me a Chicago beef, saying it's
That's what
clobbering
it is.
time.
You get a fucking tough
Yeah,
right?
East Coast United
yeah.
States guy.
It's actually threatening hearing it from him, and then
Like he's gonna have a
seeing-
baseball bat if I don't give him the vig,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
he's gonna clobber me in a bad
And I like that
land.
Johnny seems a little bit more like kind of like a kid,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not an arrogant prick.
but still like Chris Evans style.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? You know, there's a big rumor that Chris Evans might reprise his role as Human Torch,
He already
even though
has.
that he got. I know, but they got variants.
If Chris Evans as Johnny Blaze keeps popping up as a variant,
It's pretty
from
funny.
here on out, that will be the best
Flame
running
on!
joke, right? Like our new Johnny goes flame on, and then the other one's like, I don't say it like that,
Yeah,
right? Like you play with those jokes.
That was one of my favorite parts of Deadpool and Wolverine. Is just how great that was.
He's such a
and how
prick.
good of
It
a
was-
sport he was about playing Human Torch again.
Charles. What time is it?
Oh, I think it's debate time. But it's classy. Is it Oscar debate time?
It's highbrow. It's
yeah,
normally we're in the well.
right.
Today we're top shelf.
Okay, we're top shelf.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Goldstein, give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass.
I know what kind of guy you are. I never would have agreed to work with you.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna fight? What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch you. Would you repeat it?
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's now time to talk about artsy movies and meaningful cinema.
China.
China, whatever you want. Okay, so best visual effects. First up, we've got Alien Romulus.
This is a really good category.
Better Man,
Yeah, I like
which
this
is
category
the Robbie Williams doc, or Robbie Williams story about
Oh,
him
that's
as a
funny.
monkey. Dune Part.
Isn't that just Planet of the Apes Part 2.5?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
knockoff
it's-
of.
yeah, it's a-
To me, it's between Alien and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, let's list these for listener here. So then we have Doom Part 2, Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, and Wicked for best visual effects.
Yeah.
Martin, you go first. Who would you like to win?
It's tough. I want, Dune 2 was awesome. Part 2 was awesome.
Yep.
Kingdom
Amazing.
was really good. I just really like Alien Romulus. In terms of visual
Yep.
effects, I'm a huge fan of that. So
I agree.
I'm a big fan of the Alien Romulus. For
Well, the visual
Not
effects
dirty
stems.
tech.
It
Doesn't
stems
love
not
that.
just from the CGI aspect, but it
Yep.
also comes from like the background, the
And
ship.
actual explosives, like
Yeah,
doing
like-
the actual visual of like puppeteering and
when
all
the
that
director's
shit.
like, an explosion happens here, that's where the explosion is put in the.
I would swap out Better Man and put in Furiosa. Like,
That's
it
what I
blows
put
my
in as
mind
well.
that Furiosa did not get a visual effect
It
nomination.
is a slight snub. I
That
agree
whole
with
fucking
you.
movie is a visual treat. That's like half of the reason
I
we
think
watched
that would have won if it was on here.
Oh, big time. Like, Furiosa blows my mind. It was not.
Charles, who do you want to win?
I gotta go with Martin. Like Kingdom of the Planet, like it's amazing.
It is.
Don't get me wrong. It's
and it starts
absolutely
the
incredible
real story now. We've
for
got
sure.
It. Yeah.
It's very cool. But Alien Romulus is just it has a place in my heart.
Okay.
It really
I get it. Yeah.
was phenomenal. It was great to get an 80s alien movie that wasn't made in the 80s, if that makes sense. Like,
oh, for sure. And
it was
stylistically,
so cool.
yeah,
it was awesome.
Totally.
It was so cool. Like, one of my favorite scenes in that whole movie was the zero gravity xenomorph. Like, that was like out of a video game.
that was crazy.
Yeah, it was like right out of a video game. It was fucking awesome.
So
that was the best.
I'm going to create a trend here you're going to notice by the end of it, because I feel that there's a lot of snubs for it. But I'm going to give everything I possibly can to Dune Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it was so, like, him not being allowed to be nominated for score this year is ridiculous.
Why was that?
Because there was stuff that may have been AI or pre-recorded. Like, there's things that are based on stipulations.
Yeah.
Knocked him out, and it was very, like,
without proof. That's kind of annoying.
It exists, but it's petty.
Gotcha.
Right? And I think they're just trying to maybe open it up, because there's a lot of guys out there who are making headroom with that category. Anyways, I think Dune Part 2 visualistically makes me forget that this is on another planet. This just makes me think that this is on another part of Earth. Like, it looked so big and good and clean, and the like, I watched it late, and I've watched it 4 times since in the last couple months, just because I'm like, holy shit, this movie really is what
it's so good.
It's so good.
The cinematography is gorgeous.
It's why you go to the theater. It's why you making
the explosions are great. The sandworms are fucking awesome.
It's
all
visual so
effects.
good. That fight where they're underneath one of the mining things. And the legs keep coming down. Right?
It's such a fucking awesome. It's such a visual treat. Like, it really, it's an amazing movie. It really is.
Well, Villeneuve is always like that, very eye candy. He's always got visual candy.
He's a Spielberg. He's a Spielberg of our time. I feel
French
like
Canadian Spielberg.
He's going to take over when Spielberg definitely is not making
movies. That's JJ that's going to take over for Spielberg.
I think that's what Spielberg wanted. I think he was trying to make him. I'd say it's Denny. If he really wants,
Denny is the shit.
Denny is, to me, is like a fucking Spielberg. The way that guy visualizes and films
he's
things
ours too. That's the best.
Yeah, part. It's really sweet. It's really sweet.
Okay, so Alien Romulus, Dune 2 for best visual effects for once.
I think good picks. Yeah, I agree with this category. The only one I'd switch out. I get why they did Better Man. I think that's weak though.
Yeah,
I would have picked Furiosa.
Should have been Furiosa.
But it's a good category.
Okay, I honestly think Wicked's going to take it though.
Oh, you think Wicked's going to take it?
I think
they're going to give it to Alien.
Really?
I think they're going to give it to Alien.
You think that's so? Aliens, you want Aliens?
Yeah, I think they'll give it to Alien.
Martin, are you sticking by Alien as?
It's got to be Alien. They're giving it to Alien.
Okay,
I think so. It's going to be Better Man. Fuck.
It can't be Better Man. It can't be.
No, I hope not.
I think
that's so weak.
I have seen enough of Wicked to be like, wow, the shit that they had to fill in here.
It's
is impressive.
What blew me away with Wicked more is the set pieces, the actual set design.
So you think more for production design than for visual?
Yeah, like that to me was because they,
I don't think visual effects when I think of Wicked.
No, I don't. I think more of the production.
I don't think of movies. I watched it for 15 minutes.
Production art and stuff. I get the visual, like I understand why, but to me, it has a finish of CGI, like all movies in that realm have to. But it's more about the set pieces and the costume design with Wicked. Like, visual to me is a little weird that it's there, but
I mean, I want Dune to beat everything. I want Dune to make you guys look like fucking bitches. But like,
I think they're gonna. You know what's gonna happen with Dune, Mike? They're gonna do exactly what they did with Lord of the Rings. The third one is gonna get everything. I'm telling you. The next
why
one
does
he makes.
It take two movies that are amazing.
I think they'll get all. I think Dune will get a lot of technical. I think they'll.
It always gets technical,
I like
for sure.
Alien,
but I want Denny to get it.
Because wasn't it the first two Lord of the Rings didn't even get nominated? I don't think.
I want Denny to get so much that it's unarguable.
It's kind of fucked that guy hasn't won a Best Director yet. It's kind of insane to me, a little bit. Given his filmography already so far, it's pretty wild.
He's not even nominated for it. Yeah, we guess.
Yeah, which is fucked.
All right, Martin, Charles, best sound is next, if I'm correct by our following here. And then we'll skip as we go.
I think Dune had amazing sound.
Yeah, best sound. We'll do best sound. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2,
best sound.
Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Those are your categories, listener. I'll go first on this one. well, Martin's already said Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 has original sound because the sound is, if you
The
took
sound
out the
effects they make for that world is amazing.
If you
Like,
took out,
sounds
It's
I've
like
never
Jurassic
heard of.
Park styles.
yes,
Yeah.
I
That
feel
throat singing at the beginning.
And even the way the wings work on the thing. Did you see when the guy did? It's like a fucking. It's one of those things that you use from like the 19th century to make the fire keep going.
Oh,
like a
It's
bellow.
literally that
like
with
a flume.
It's a
yeah.
bellow.
So he recorded that and then mixes it with like techno noises for when they're like loading up. And I'm like, you're a fucking genius. Like that's
Yeah.
so cool. Reminds me of Jurassic Park styles.
Denny's
like,
sound guy. There's clips of him how he makes stuff.
Yeah,
online from
it's
time to
so
time.
cool.
He's like
Yeah.
the Trent Reznor of sound.
yeah.
effects,
That's
right?
it. Reminds me a lot of that.
Understanding that sounds come from
Their
inanimate
brain is
objects.
working in
Yeah.
a different frequency.
Exactly.
Because they hear things that you're like, what? And then they mix and you're like, holy shit.
Martin.
Yeah, they have to make up a lot of sounds. Right?
Yes.
We don't have ornithopters in our world. So
That's
they
what
have
I
to
mean.
make up sounds for ornithopters. They don't have sandworms.
Whereas,
you gotta
like-
make up sound for that.
Nothing against Wicked and Amelia Perez, but you're recording people singing English. Or not English, I
Your
should say,
sound
but
is
songs,
based on song,
right?
as opposed to sound of
And it's
Foley.
easier to understand how to record rhythmic and flow of song and choreograph that.
Well, you
and
have
how you're
timing,
going to,
right?
But being like, hey, I need you to make me the sound for a futuristic helicopter that doesn't exist.
And how fast does
and
that?
it's kind of like a bug,
how fast does that move?
right?
At what
right.
tone? At what pitch does it move?
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the first take is like, well, that's what it sounds like. But
That's
not
why I
how
feel
it
like
sounds
Wild
good.
Robot totally makes sense because I'm sure they got to make. I haven't seen it yet.
I loved it.
You have
I heard
to
it
get
was
a lot of
awesome.
the sounds of the animals and stuff like
The
that.
sound,
But yeah,
it's
right?
if you feel like you're in nature in this. It's,
See? So stuff
it's,
like that.
It's the same animation as Puss in Boots, the new one, right? So
Oh,
it's
cool.
that painted look.
I've heard nothing but incredible.
Watch Wild
things.
Robot.
Is it
It's
Lupita
good.
Luongo
It's
that
really
is the yeah?
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal,
Pedro
too,
Pascal.
as the fox.
Man,
yeah.
he is fucking everywhere. I love it,
Dude, it
I
will
love
feel
it.
like a short got turned into a movie halfway through the movie,
So-
but like it's good.
I think everyone. I get it. I think everyone's just jizzing with Timothy, but like Complete Unknown can go
Again-
fuck itself. But I guess it's the same as Wicked and Amelia Perez. It's a musical, but it's like fuck off.
Mangold's trying to replicate what
He
happened.
did that one.
That's James Mangold. What I think what he's trying to do is lightning in a bottle when he did Cash, right? When he did the Cash biopic.
He did Cash. Okay, so that
Yeah.
makes
Mangold makes
way more
really
sense.
good music biopics. He's done a
Because
third.
he makes
I can't-
everything like a Western. That's why it works. He has this Western take on things. Even Indiana Jones felt like
Well, I
kind of
mean,
like this
yeah.
Western, the way he films things. It's
I mean,
he's good at it.
Three
It's
movies
good.
don't deserve best sound because they're about music or are musicals.
I think that's the committee who's like, "Brah." Like they're not actual sound people that are
no, they
nominating
are, dude.
this,
Dude,
right?
I'll tell you, every department is
Really?
nominated. By
I hope
every
so because I
department.
always think that's weak. Like I'm like, I get they sing, but
Technicians
like,
nominate technicians, actors nominate actors, producers nominate best
fucking
picture.
hope so.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I know, but it's also what happens when you create an echo chamber.
You know who it is? It's Harvey Weinstein. He's still doing it, Mike.
got
He's
his
still
fingers in the
doing
pie.
it. Still doing it.
Okay, so Dune 2, Martin, Dune 2, me.
I would go Dune 2. Yeah,
And
I
is
would
that-
go Dune 2.
That's who I want to win, and that's who I think.
And
is
the
going to
category's
win.
okay.
Yeah, you're gonna. Wicked should be in songs.
Sonic should be on there. I think
Really?
making
We'll
all the
talk about
fucking
that. Like Wicked and Amelia Perez, they're more poised to win like soundtrack.
Yes.
Best original
so who do we
soundtrack.
think will win? I could see fucking Complete Unknown. They love Timothy.
Oh, for sound.
Oh, and they're giving him
Yeah.
so much credit for singing. So
But okay, how much of that is like okay? So he sang right, but he's
and played the guitar.
But sound is not so much about what the sound is as it is about how the sound is used. So who mixed the sound? Who made it?
But I
sound,
think with-
who made it sound like
Dude,
Bob
think
Dylan?
But
Under
that's what I'm
Siege,
saying.
That
So-
one best sound in Oscars.
So
What
with
Under Siege, that won best sound at the Oscars. Think of that movie when you're thinking of best sound.
Did it
Like, they
really?
had some really
That's
cool-
hilarious.
Yeah, that won best sound in the Oscars.
but see,
Under
there isn't-
Siege, as in like
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, that
Yeah.
won best sound that year that came out.
So funny.
Okay, we
In
need
the
to.
Oscars.
I need to just go to the bathroom.
But, like-
first. Can we just stop for a
Yeah,
second?
yeah, yeah.
I actually have to go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
So we'll be back, listener.
Great.
All right, listener, we're back. That was that was a lot of water.
Good for you, man.
yeah,
you
no.
look great.
Feeling a little more
Verklempt?
Hydrated.
Yeah, hydrated. No, seriously. Big bottles of water are the new thing for my life these days. Anyways, okay, so best sound, I think we all agree that it's
Dune.
Dune.
Yeah, I would
Dune.
go
Yep.
Dune.
All right, so moving on to what we
Production
know.
design. Do you want to tackle short animated? I don't know any of these.
No, dude, production design.
Makeup,
is fine, man.
hairstyling.
We'll get there. That's fine.
Do
I
production
get it.
design then.
Yeah.
That's the next one.
Uh,
we were just
so-
talking about production design. Maybe Wicked or Nosferatu.
Well,
yeah,
okay, hang on.
I'd
hang
say
on.
it's a good.
Let's give the list for a listener here. So we have The Brutalist, we have Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Martin, you're thinking
Because
what?
you were saying Wicked. I could see Wicked doing
Yeah.
something with production design, with all the sets.
And Nosferatu.
Like Emerald City and all that shit, right? So
I think you're right, too.
Nosferatu as well, that
Yeah.
old timey-wimey kind of
I think
Pennsylvania. Or whatever.
from what I've seen, I haven't seen it yet because Shauna refuses to watch.
You haven't seen
3.5.
Nosferatu?
No, I haven't seen that yet, but she refuses to watch The Brutalist.
It's 3 hours?
It's 3.5.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, but
That's why it's called The Brutalist.
It's
It's because it's brutal.
It's a brutal watch.
but it is
is it not?
tackling a story about architecture and design, and it's killing it. Like, I don't know if it's one production off the top of my head.
I've heard nothing
but-
but good things, but I don't know what it's about.
It's about
I saw a quick trailer, and it, you know what I
I think
mean?
it's about an immigrant who's Jewish coming to America, and he was an architect.
Shortly after World War II?
Yes, and he was
Okay.
a designer there, and everything was ripped down of his, so he comes to America to rebuild.
Gotcha.
But I think he rebuilds for like a titan of industry who's
For a
also,
Nazi.
like, possibly. I think
Right.
I think that's the catch.
Right.
But like just looking.
Damn.
But also I haven't seen Nosferatu, but I look at it and I
Oh,
go,
man,
how
it's
do you
beautiful.
not?
It's beautiful.
Have you guys
I
seen
did
the
not put it in there.
comparisons between that and Batman Returns?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Like,
it's really
he was
neat.
really
Well, because he
inspired.
said he was inspired by it, and it makes sense.
Oh
Like,
God! Like
but
there's
Nosferatu's a beautifully shot movie.
the era, the time. I mean,
Like,
it's
I would love to see him do a take on Sleepy Hollow.
sure
Oh my God,
the Headless
it's so-
Horseman.
like it's
Ichabod Crane.
I think I liked what Martin said. Like I could see it very much being between Nosferatu and Wicked for sure.
Wicked, like you said. I mean,
haven't seen Conclave or The Brutalist, so
but
I don't know.
Conclave was just made to look like the Vatican, and I mean, you have a job to do if you're telling the story about the picking of a new pope. That's what it's about.
That's what it is.
Ralph Fiennes
Okay.
heads the picking of a new pope, and it's incredibly political.
Oh, I gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
like these wide,
I already saw that and called The Young Pope with Jude Law.
yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
fucking awesome.
Well, because we don't actually fully know what goes on because it's so secretive when they're in those meetings.
Yeah.
They just like light the smoke or whatever when
Conclave
the decision's made.
is what they call it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
and
okay.
they
that
my
makes sense.
my priest was on,
And Ralph Fiennes is nominated for that.
Yes,
I
Ralph
believe.
Fiennes is
Okay.
nominated for that.
Okay.
It's also nominated for a bunch of other stuff too.
Okay,
but not
I
that
gotcha.
much. But I mean, it looks like the Vatican, but you can also find a lovely office space and just fill it with pews and call it the Vatican.
You
Like,
also are referencing Google like hard, and you have to because it's a real place. Whereas
Yeah.
like Nosferatu, Wicked, like these are fake.
we know they're fake, but they
Right.
look real.
Right.
And
so
that's the trick of production
You're building
design.
a world that can't look fake to me.
If I'm gonna pick what I want to win, I want
Dune.
Dune to win because even in the building of the caves and the
The
underground
production design's
world,
amazing
like,
in Dune too. The
Oh,
set
yeah, it's
design's
great.
crazy.
Dune is why movies are made. All these other movies are great movies.
Yeah.
But Dune, when you get into the why do people make movies, you make Dune because this is why movies exist, right?
Yeah.
To be on such a grand scale. And again, my trend of Denis Villeneuve, oh Canada, fuck you America, we beat you at hockey.
Wow.
We beat you at hockey, we're going to beat you at the Oscars. So Dune 2 is my pick. Martin, what's yours for production design?
Like I said, it's either Dune 2 or Nosferatu. It's a toss-up
Okay.
for me
Okay.
with those two.
You're ambivalent, doesn't matter.
Sorry, Nosferatu and Wicked. Sorry.
Okay,
Nosferatu and
sure.
Wicked.
All right.
It's a toss-up with those two.
Charles?
I think the Oscars is going to go Wicked. I would go Nosferatu.
Okay.
I think they're going to go Wicked.
Like as a fan, it's Nosferatu, but as the Academy, it's
I think the Academy's going Wicked. I would
agree.
do Nosferatu, but I think
agree.
they're going to go Wicked.
I think they're going to go
Which I don't
Wicked,
think is a bad. Like I don't think that's a bad pick because
you
like
can't
the
give it
production
as-
design's crazy.
but you also are not allowed to give it Best Picture. I'm sorry. It's
Which,
up-
Wicked?
Wicked.
No.
It made $1 billion. That's why it's.
But you know,
Best
Wicked
Picture.
is like it's one of those ones they throw in because again they're like TikTok.
I'm not allowed to comment on Wicked because my lack of Wicked is pretty wicked. But like, I
no,
don't,
but I can tell you, I liked it and I saw it, and it's not a Best Picture.
Okay, thank you. You're my
Yeah,
proxy.
no, it
Okay.
is not a Best Picture.
I also think Wicked's going to win. Martin, do you agree that this might be one of those like?
But I don't hate it winning production design. I think
I
it's
think
a
Wicked
fair...
will win technical awards. I think it'll win like production design. It'll
Yeah.
probably
I'm fine with
win,
it
like
winning
something
too.
with music. So
I'm not saying
like-
it doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying
No,
how the
I know.
Oscars can get
Yeah,
about
no,
stuff.
100%.
They'll ignore the Brutalist
But
for
also,
that. But
Wicked gets thrown into certain categories because they're like young. Like again, that's a young viewer. Like that's what they're looking
well,
at.
and guys, just to kind of cut in here for a second, I've been listening to how they vote and all of the programs. Like, a lot of special screenings that have been going on the last 3 weeks where everybody from these movies are invited to everybody else's movie.
Right, and they all campaign.
So they all campaign together. They all have these screenings. They all have these rules. But you'll end up with the sound people from one movie in a room.
Right.
With the production people from one movie in a room.
Right.
And then the costume department in there. And then they all get together. And even though they vote independently, there is always the issue with humanity of things becoming like, I don't want to not vote for this thing.
Yeah.
Right? So
also, as much as they want to say it's unbiased, there is also a bias if you're like, if I knew you were the sound design on something.
That's what I'm saying is that
they
don't vote for each other's categories, but if I'm friends with the sound designer.
Right, I'm going to go for it.
Right?
If they're doing best sound and I know you did the sound on the substance, I'm going to be like, well, that was a great fucking movie and Mike did it. I'll go with the substance.
As opposed to what? So
That's why I'm saying it should be us because we have no bias like that. I don't know I don't have personal connection to these people. Other than I loved your movie.
The conversation to maybe take a little bit of the public's perception and add it into Pat It.
MTV Awards, baby.
Yeah. Okay, and Martin, you think Wicked as well for production?
I think so.
Okay, all right. So then moving on to original song. El May.
I don't know too much about original song, to be honest. But it looks like Emilia Perez might take something.
Yeah, what? Emilia Perez is nominated twice?
Yeah, Mi Camino and
also,
El May.
I'm sorry, the Elton John thing, is that a doc? Is that a movie?
It's a doc.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, it's a song that was made for a documentary about his last tour in his life. So
I guess.
It's original to the movie.
So I'm going to say that wins.
Hey, dude.
That's going to win.
It would be
I'm telling you,
fucking mind-blowing
if they threw it in there against two Emilia Perez noms, it's going to win. I think that'll win.
I think
or Sing Sing.
Here's the problem with Emilia Perez and the drama that's around it. I think it still deserves accolades.
Sure, yeah.
But people are going to be either team no or team yes, as opposed to, well, the other departments deserve their work because this is not.
Oh, and I agree. It has nothing to do with her.
to do with what
like
she
Zoe
did.
should still win because
Yes.
just because one person sucks doesn't mean Zoe shouldn't win.
Now, one of them's a rap and one of them is a big performance. The big performance one
With Zoe. Yeah, that one's
the
amazing.
non-rap one, I think, deserves the rap, or maybe I have it backwards. Does the rap one turn into the big performance, or is it the one that originally starts where she's walking down the street and she's got a bunch of people
I know
behind her?
that. Yeah. So that one I know what you're talking about. That's near the beginning.
Yeah,
I like the one where she's on the tables and doing all that. That's near like
that's the one
I like.
That's the one I think should win. Sorry, that's
that
one
the
was
one I
big
like.
and fun,
and Zoe
whatever.
was great. Like
Yes.
again, Zoe to me as a musical part performer was better than Emilia.
So which
Perez.
song is that? Is that Mi Camino or El
That's Mi
Mal
Camino, I
that you're
believe.
talking about?
I think it's Mi Camino.
Those are the only two that are nominated.
Yeah. The first one is like the big like musical number. The second one is like a sexy.
It's because like
rap and
Emilia,
dance.
like Zoe Saldana has musical experience, but I'm sorry, the actress that played Emilia
Center
Perez,
fucking
I
stage?
don't think does.
No,
She did not sound good.
No, she does not.
But she sounded good when she was the drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like that like rap thingy.
Yeah.
Fast talk, whatever.
The
that was
Kesha
cool.
rap
It was
kinda
good.
thing, yeah.
She's got that raspy voice. It was
Yeah.
cool. It was neat.
She's got that teardrop under her eye.
Yeah, it was wild. That was wild.
So yeah, I think Mi Camino is going to take it because it's an original song.
Or
it's
Never
fun.
Too Late from Elton John.
Or Never Too.
They love Elton John. The Academy loves
Circle of Life
Elton.
won one.
I'm telling you, man, they love Elton. And this is the last time he'll ever be nominated for an Oscar again. So,
Martin, what do you think?
I don't know too much about this category, man.
yeah, this is a tough one.
Okay, so
I have
stab
no
in
idea.
the, stab in the
what
dark.
What am I supposed to do?
What the
Didn't watch
fuck
any of
is
them.
the 688? I didn't even know what that was.
It's a movie about black women in the military, I believe.
But it's a movie?
It's a movie.
Oh my god, I didn't even hear
But
of
it has an original song. It has someone who wrote a song for it.
But this is what I mean. Like, sometimes I'm like, huh? Like, who the fuck? Where did this movie come from?
Also, at the same time, the fact that Wicked isn't in this category.
Yeah, because is it not all original music? Or is it adapted music?
Well, it's adapted from the musical, I believe.
That's original.
But I don't know. See, original is you have to write it for the
screen.
For the screen.
I
So,
see.
like, when you commission the song to the artist, it's when
So, like, when Lady Gaga wrote the music
Yes.
for Star Is Born makes
Yes.
sense because she only wrote that for that
exactly,
movie. Gotcha.
100%. Whereas
Gotcha.
they're
This is a play.
They're re-singing.
That's why
music.
Berlin won in Top Gun.
That's
that
why.
was original.
yeah,
yes.
there it
Top
is.
Gun movie.
Yeah,
Very great
yeah.
point. That's exactly
right.
the point.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's going to be Amelia because it's still it for its story, for its.
It's got two 2 chances to win.
Yeah, out of 6.
Well, that's why I laugh.
Mathematically, the odds are in their favor.
That's
to win.
right. That's why I'm like, if you're nominated twice in the same category, you should fucking win. And if you don't, I hope it's a wild card like Elton John, like something that makes everyone be like, "What?"
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Right? Because Amelia should win. The odds are in her fucking favor
But
right
at
now.
the same time, if you're looking to hedge your bets and create a more inclusive
I
Oscars,
agree.
which is their mandate,
Yeah,
voting for Elton John is a gay vote, voting for Amelia Perez is an
can we
LGBTQ vote.
Can
So,
we
I mean,
also acknowledge it's a little fucking funny to me that if a movie is written with original music and it has 17 original songs, all of those 17 songs are up for original. They are.
Yeah,
that's kind
dude,
of
that's how it works.
No, you pick your favorite out of that.
Well,
fucking...
you submit, right? Like you'd have to submit.
I know,
your song,
but I just like you know what I mean. Like it's kind of because then at that point you could be like, 4 of these could be Amelia Perez. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of funny to me. It should just be like, no, what's the best fucking one?
Well, and that's
out
what
of this ensemble.
they
and
submitted both.
Yeah,
and that's
and
why
both got picked.
Both got picked.
No, I get it. I know. I just think that's funny, right? Because really. And it's happened before. We've seen other movies where they've had multiple nominations in the same category.
Moving on, we're still in the music category, listeners. So we have Best Original Score, which has got The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Best International Feature Film. Man.
This is where Hans Zimmer got fucked in the ass, because this is where he should be. But because of the drama that surrounds rights and production credits and how things were made.
So he used AI?
I don't think he used. I am not 100% certain, but it is a. There's a
I heard the Brutalist got into some controversy with AI.
The Brutalist used AI
to finish editing or something.
To finish accents.
Oh,
it created a harder Hungarian Jewish accent.
Okay, so that's kind of bullshit.
They got as far as they could on screen,
but that's kind of bullshit.
But then to get a little bit more of a harder,
they should have just Kevin Costner Robin Hood it. Slowly just be like, okay, you guys can just talk normal now.
yeah, it was really
Don't
bad.
actually do
when
it. Just talk normal.
When he's in Jerusalem versus when he gets back to...
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. The movie starts with
an Englishman.
It starts with him trying this outrageous English accent to him just eventually being like fucking Yellowstone.
I am going to pick... That was The Well, listener. I think it's. I think it could be between Wicked or The Wild Robot. Those are my picks.
Yeah.
Wicked, honestly, because it is the John Williams style. Like, I mean, again, haven't seen it. This is me going in with only 15 minutes of music, but I have seen clips and conversations.
But I love Ariana.
And I do love Ariana. But she's got nothing to do with the original score, right? It's the composers that have to do with this one. So
right.
I think you've either... And animated always does well in this category.
Yeah.
But Wicked is also where... Wicked is the Amelia Perez of the Oscars, I think, where it did so well. It's such a technical masterpiece that it's going to win the more technical aspects than the acting aspects.
What is it that music overture? They have that overture.
Yeah.
So Wicked's overture is really good. And again, it should be. It's a fucking play.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I agree. I think you're right. I think I can see Wicked, and I haven't seen Wild Robot yet, but there's something about music that's made original for animation that is just so good and like such a top tier. So I'm not shocked to see it on here. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's DreamWorks too. Martin, what do you think do you think Conclave's going to get it about religion?
Volker Bolterman.
It's so
not.
What do you
I think Wicked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's it's the category for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
If it's going to win something, it's going to win that.
Yeah.
All right. And I mean, I can't see anything.
I like Wild Robot, but I mean, it's Wicked. It's going to be Wicked.
I can't see Amelia Perez or Conclave or Brutalist getting this. The Brutalist is probably going to be...
All those just seem lame in this category, in my opinion.
Well, it's
just
also
being honest.
It's also like, okay, so look at like Wild Robot's known, Wicked's known, Amelia Perez. I don't know who these conductors are.
I also can't think of an
Conclave.
original score in that movie. Can you? I'm trying to think of
Amelia
what
Perez?
what was the original score?
It's the overture. It's the
I know, but I'm
interludes.
trying to think what that even was.
You know what? The music
I can't even
for
think
Amelia
of it.
Perez
Doesn't stand out to me.
It was overshadowed by the musical singing.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't stand out to me. Like, it doesn't. I don't know. Fucking weird.
All right, we can beat a dead horse, but I think we're all on the same for what's going to win and what is winning.
Yeah.
Best makeup and hairstyling. Now, A Different Man is the Sebastian Stan one.
Yeah.
I tried to get into it the other night. I was in the wrong headspace.
It's really good,
but
good. It's hard.
It takes a minute to get into.
It's a hard watch, but it's good.
Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Charles, how about you take us with this one?
So this is not a bad category.
This is a bunch of heavy hitters.
This is actually a solid category. Like this is a hard one. I mean, I haven't seen this is actually one of the few categories I've seen everything. I mean, A Different Man, I totally
You get why.
But I mean the substance though.
How do
and Nosferatu, like especially now that they're showing the BTS of how they did Count Orlok and he's in full like
best makeup and hair.
Wicked too. I understand,
why?
Especially because of Albafa, like the green
hairstyle.
And the hairstyle
is also a thing. So hairstyle is crazy.
And like the hairstyles that go with the costumes, because like the Munchkin kids will have to have a certain style that stands out.
Hair and makeup is always in the category of you can't have one without the other. Right, chicken. You can't have great hair without great makeup, and vice versa.
Because like with Wicked, they're very like you got to think of like
I think more
the
makeup.
Who's. Think of like the Who's,
okay.
like the distinct. They have like some of them have distinctive like makeup that they have that you're like that's this group.
They really weren't in the first 15 minutes, so I wasn't.
Yes, right. But the substance though, man, like the substance is insane because the beginning of it is like glamour. Like Demi Moore looks great. But then as she starts even as that continuous with her look fading and it's
the
wild.
finger that ends up dying.
Yeah.
And then the cutting of the body.
Yeah.
All of that is makeup.
Well, that's when makeup comes into play, right? That's all special effects makeup.
For me, honestly, and I think because I'm looking at what blew me away the most in these regards, I would say the substance.
I am also going to co-sign the substance. I haven't seen Nosferatu, but
Nosferatu is cool, and it has a very iconic, holy fuck scene with
when the
makeup.
whale won for best makeup.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm thinking with substance, is how we're going
to... Well, yeah, because I didn't expect that whole ending part with Demi in the suit.
No.
And she's fully, walking around.
Martin, did you see substance yet?
Yeah, that's why for me
the Quasimodo part
of that category.
What was that? Sorry,
it's gonna take it. The bottom three for me.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, substance, or Wicked.
Very impressed with this category.
I am too.
Very impressed.
Hair
with
and
this
makeup
category.
always hair and makeup is. I feel that stunts is going to be the new hair and makeup. Right when they finally acknowledge stunts, because hair and makeup is where a character where you want to do a weird sci-fi or a horror or something, right? That's where the makeup is so heavily relied on.
It just, what beautifully sums up how important and how amazing that whole category is Mrs. Doubtfire when he goes to his brother. He's like, can you make me a woman? And that whole compilation of them trying different noses and everything that shows, it's a very simplistic way, but it shows the impact and how important and how insane
the makeup
that
was
department
part of the
is.
character in the movie.
Right.
We admitted
without
that we had
them,
to put makeup on.
Without them doing their job the way they do, Mrs. Doubtfire wouldn't have worked. Robin Williams is incredible, don't get me wrong, but a big part of that movie is the fact of the disguise and the makeup of everything, right? So,
Martin, final thoughts before we move on? Anything we missed?
I think we've said it all.
All right.
I mean, like I said, for me, it's the bottom three for sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the bottom three winning, not having seen Nosferatu or Wicked. I just know what Elphaba looks like, and I'm like, they did a really good job of making someone look green and not Tin Man.
And especially too, I saw behind the scenes, and it's also her skin complexion made it difficult for the shade of green as well.
Yeah,
especially if she was very light, right? They'd have to use a certain...
I'm excited for.
So
what?
I'm excited for when we actually discover aliens and we look back and we say, wow, I can't believe she did green face.
And they're all offended, and that's why they attack us.
We've come down here to let you know you're all canceled. You've done green face for too long.
It turns into Mars
Attacks. That's why Mars Attacks, because she went green face.
Do not run.
Best international feature. I am completely unfamiliar with anything besides Amelia Perez.
I don't think we should do this
let's
one.
Go to film editing.
Yeah, I can tell you that it did win. It did win at Best International at the Globes.
It did, right, at the Globes. Yeah.
So, and
I also didn't expect it to be France. I thought it would have been Mexico,
French,
or Spain.
Odd, yes, but I'm still here. The woman and I'm still here is Hollywood royalty.
It's like Ridley Scott doing a thing on Napoleon.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
I'm watching Flow tonight, so I'll have a better idea. But Jimmy said
it's on Crave.
Jimmy said it's really good.
They built a statue of the cat in Latvia. Did you see? That's
amazing.
Yeah, and they for the Oscars, it's at their Times Square. It's really neat. But yeah, I saw that. I was like,
I am sure everything that's nominated is great. We're just the wrong podcast to review.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Best film editing, it shall be.
I'll go Flow because of the cat.
Anora for best film editing. The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, or Wicked. I just watched
This is
Anora
a
this
lame
week.
category, in my opinion. Like, how is the substance not on here?
That is one of the best editing marvels of the last year.
How the fuck is that
The
not on
jagged
here?
cuts,
Yeah.
the
end.
Well, I know what
when
Mike's not going to pick
spewing.
is Wicked for
Well,
editing.
I can't.
I'll even be honest. I don't understand Wicked on this list.
Martin, I've seen 12 shots. I cannot judge an editing process.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw more than 12 shots. I don't get why Wicked's on this list.
Anora, guys.
I'm not too happy about this category.
Yeah, this category is weak. How is Romulus not on here? How is Furiosa not on here?
Anora is an interesting 3-part movie that is edited differently throughout all of it. It's edited very sexy with close-ups in the first third.
Wow, and Sean Baker did it.
Sean Baker's indie all day.
He does it all the
time.
time.
He does it all,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the movie itself, I mean, it's not no knockout performance, but I like how it was edited because when you look back on it, you're like, okay, the first part was this sexy love story.
Yeah.
And then the pacing and
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles
was the middle part where
Yeah.
it's 4 of them looking for the Russian idiot.
Yeah.
And then the last half goes back to the sexy storytelling with a very weird ending choice. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It's just it's a sexy.
I just saw the
Sean-
trailer and I was like, oh. Like, it doesn't look bad, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
This is what's getting all the buzz? Wow.
I wasn't standing up off the couch being like, we should tell everybody about this.
Yeah, everyone watch this one. Yeah.
It's got a Leaving Las Vegas feel to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
If
yeah.
We're gonna be honest.
And the Oscars loves that shit.
But
so-
Leaving Las Vegas was awesome.
It was really good. It was really good. Don't get me wrong.
It
was
just
good.
it's more along the lines.
You're comparing it the movie
It's
with
real.
that?
It's a more of a realistic
It
ending.
is. It's a real feeling.
Which
Like a
just
Sean
sucks.
Baker movie doesn't feel.
No, like he gives you
like a-
reality punches.
He does. I can't. Brutalist Conclave. I can't say. Amelia Perez.
Yeah, I don't know. Amelia Perez, I don't think should be on this.
I don't
list
know how
either.
to. I don't know how to pick this award. Every
Amelia
year.
Perez is edited like a play. They have fade outs.
Yeah.
And then fade in. So
Yeah, I
nothing
can do
against
that.
the editor. Yes, but I can do that. I'm sorry.
I have a template already made for
That's
that.
kind of horseshit. So
This is a blind guess in the dark. I'm gonna.
I can't believe
go-
that the substance isn't on here. Even Civil
Okay.
War.
I'm gonna say this. Conclave is edited to make you, and I saw a video about this morning. It's edited to make you feel like you never have to pick your phone up because the shot never ends. Even there's cuts.
Oh, I see.
But the shot itself is constantly going. So you,
Yeah,
never,
yeah,
you
yeah.
never get like a POV shot of what
yeah.
someone's looking at
Yeah.
to take a break. You
Right.
are always in
Right.
the story. So on that,
It's just following.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Conclave for me. Martin, what's your guess?
I can't pick one of this, man. I said it. I don't like this category.
Okay, just pick
I don't
one,
like
though.
Films in this
Yeah,
category.
this is
Just pick one.
I'm gonna abstain.
Just pick one. Pick one. No, you can't. You have to pick one.
I'll abstain.
You can't plead the fifth.
I don't know.
I'll go Wicked
I'll
Smat.
go with what you said, Mike Conclave.
Okay, and Charles?
I'll go Wicked Smat.
Yeah, I don't know what should win because I don't know anything.
This is
about
a
it.
shitty category.
All right, great. We can jump a couple. We're gonna jump to best costume design with A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Gladiator 2 we've all seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know how it's not going to win. Out of all of these,
It's gonna be Wicked.
I'm not
think
saying it's
Wicked's gonna
easy.
win.
I think it's gonna be Wicked.
Oh, it's Gladiator or Wicked.
I'd say it's Nosferatu or Wicked.
Really?
Gladiator was good. Don't get me wrong.
But like, look at how you have to build a gladiator's costume.
Oh, I know.
Or a queen's costume.
For sure.
I'm not saying it's
But
easy
I
to
think
build
the
a boot.
Oscars has been there, done that. Because they did it with the first Gladiator.
And it'd also be nice to give someone who's making a horror piece.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nosferatu would be
It always
super
gets
wicked.
it's usually a timepiece that wins. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's why. Or Wicked, because again, like Wicked is very, like you got to
Big
think big
gowns,
It's very
dresses.
big,
Put so much into the costumes.
right?
I
It's
can't
like
see how it doesn't win.
Yeah, no, and especially the like when they get into the Emerald City, like it's. I think Wicked's gonna take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hard on.
I agree with you on Gladiator too. I do.
Conclave looks like you're at church.
I know, but they can buy those.
This is a good point. You just call the papal see and be like, "Can we get 1,000 cardinal outfits, please?"
Like Ariana Grande
I'm sure
and
they
Wicked.
did. I'm sure they made the costumes.
It's
but
like a prom bubble gum
It is.
gown, but like fucking,
I know.
right.
I saw it.
Crazy. Even Albafa, when you see like the detail on her hat, it's not just like a black hat. It actually has like this threading thing that go. It's
Okay.
Like it's one of those where I wouldn't be shocked if it's
My picks, and I'm fine with either way: Gladiator, Nosferatu, or Wicked. I think those three. I can't see a complete unknown getting it. You're just putting him in 50s garb.
Yeah,
and you have to make all this stuff. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to go far outside the
Right.
box to make Bob Dylan
Right.
look like Bob Dylan.
right.
Where
Like,
Gladiator, you do.
Bob
and-
Dylan wore very much like complete unknown shit.
Yeah.
So it's not. I'm not saying their job is
Whoever he
easy,
wore was a complete unknown.
But you're right. But I think Wicked would have been harder to do costumes for.
It was the original Thrifter.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
Martin.
Honestly, it's either going to be the bottom three again.
But yeah,
but
I
I
can't
can see
see
Wicked
it.
taking it for
Yep.
sure. For me, I think it's just going to be Wicked taking it.
Moving on to best cinematography. Why the camera speaks to us.
Ooh.
The Brutalist, Dune, Amelia Perez.
The fuck is Maria?
Maria.
What the fuck is that?
That is Angelina Jolie's movie about a Oscar singer. And Nosferatu. So I can't speak to Nosferatu, but I can always speak to Denis Villeneuve.
I'm going to Dune or Nosferatu.
I'm going to Dune on this one.
Dune or
I'm
Nosferatu.
doing Dune or Nosferatu.
Yeah.
My eyes were open
Yeah.
so much during
Yeah,
Dune.
you don't
Yeah.
fall asleep. You don't look away. Nothing's
No,
wasted.
Dune is
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I was not distracted at
The
all
lens
when I watched
choices,
that.
shooting in deserts, the way they shot.
And the black and white choice. to
Yeah.
show- yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. It was really cool. No, Dune and Nosferatu are beautiful movies. Maria
and everything looks like it's floating. It's ethereal. It's
Amelia Perez, I find, is a fucking joke on this one, just a little bit, because I'm sorry, like staging light for a play versus a movie is very different, and I understand this movie does both, but it's not realistic to me. Like,
no, stay in a lane.
yes,
Pick a creative choice.
Yes,
It's a movie.
Because I can
light
make
it.
the argument that a lot of Amelia Perez has a spotlight, and no offense, cinematography with the spotlight is like, ooh.
Yeah. Just tell me where the spot is in my
So,
distance, and I'll. figure
Dune
out
and
the rest.
Nosferatu, hard. I
Yeah.
would say for sure with this one.
Okay, I can't see. I mean,
But I could see something like The Brutalist winning.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Bradley Colbert is. I mean, he's a really good director. I haven't seen any of the other stuff he's done, but the noise around him.
There's something about the sophistication of architecture that I look at.
Yeah, and I also don't like his personality because he's just so like, I'm above society. I'm an artsy filmmaker.
So like the Oscars.
Yeah, he's Oscar gold for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so best cinematography, Dune.
But how was the substance not on this one either? I thought the cinematography and the substance was fucking wicked.
the close-up shots?
Yeah, man.
The way they the angles where they shoot everybody and make you feel really uncomfortable.
How about the hallway? The shout-outs to The Shining. The shout,
Yeah.
like all this, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like that first shot with Dennis Quaid makes you hate him right away without knowing anything because he comes right up
He's
to the
eating
camera
shrimp.
and taking that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the
Oh, we love
cinematography-
you. We love you. We wanted to give you a book. We wanted to give you something to remember us
and the
by.
close-up shots where he's like, "Why aren't you smiling?" Like that,
Yeah.
right? Like I can't believe
Well,
the
and
substance isn't on
that
here.
was Colby. Is it Colby? The name of the director? Caleb Colby something?
I think so. Yeah.
That was showing you how it feels to have those people in your
yeah,
face, right?
It gave you a sense of claustrophobia.
Your
without
personal space
realizing
was
it.
invaded.
Yeah.
Martin,
I can't believe it's not on here.
final thoughts? Any snubs? Anything?
Oh, and Civil
no
War.
snubs. Honestly, for me, I like Dune. It's Dune or Nosferatu for me.
Yeah, Civil War did get
I
snubbed.
loved the cinematography. Civil War didn't get anything. It's
Well, and it was
insane.
that first person kind of shot sometimes where you felt like you were running,
Yeah.
like the Rhino run in Gears of War.
Yeah.
Giving
totally.
you that like feeling of being in a war,
Yeah.
the way they shot it.
But
No,
even
is-
even when it was in broad daylight, like with Jesse Plemons, that whole scene is so scary. But the way that it's like brightly lit and the feel, like
yeah,
I can't believe Civil War is not on this list.
best animated feature. And I have seen a lot of these. I've seen Wild Robot, I've seen Inside Out, and I've seen Flow. And
I haven't seen the new Wallace and Gromit yet. Maybe that's what I'll watch tonight.
Is that on? That's on Netflix.
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's their baby. Martin, you go first. What do you think?
I've only seen Inside Out 2 and Wild Robot, and both of them were amazing. So
Come closer
Yeah.
to the mic. I can't hear you.
I've only seen Inside Out 2 or Wild Robot. Both of them were amazing. I could see it going to Inside Out 2.
Inside
Just
Out 2's
'cause-
story is amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
God, that was such a good movie too.
I haven't seen a better depiction of how anxiety works. Like how, you know what I mean? Like their
I had
depiction of
tears
anxiety
in
is
my
amazing.
eyes
It was
when that
amazing.
scene happened because I finally felt like I could tell somebody
Yeah.
that is what a panic attack feels
That's
like.
exactly, yes. I was like, I've never seen a true depiction of what goes in someone's brain.
What
in a
emotions
panic
are?
attack.
Yeah.
Somebody on
Yeah.
that animation team
Yeah.
was like, hey,
I know.
I'm having one right now. Do
He
you want to know?
anthropomorphized emotions.
But
yes, yes.
Also could see Wallace and Gromit because the Oscars has a very soft spot for that, and I agree. Like Wallace and Gromit is a
There's
classic.
a claymation kind of.
It's a classic, like there's something about it that just makes you think of a generation. It makes you think of it just makes you think of growing up because I remember Wallace and Gromit was everywhere when I was a kid.
I missed the shit out of it.
Yeah, it was the best, man.
The Wild Robot, again, if you liked Puss in Boots,
DreamWorks,
the new
right?
DreamWorks take of making
it's good animation.
You're taking action sequences and you're creating this blur with the colors that just looks fantastic.
It's coming at it now. What I like is animation studios are approaching it the way video game animation studios do, because they're not very different from each other in the sense of how you film things. You're creating a angle, right? You're designing how it's shot.
Well, Martin can
basically,
attest to this. The way they hold some of the shots in Wild Robot is useless, but it's beautiful to look at. There's nothing to the story,
right?
But it's they're just showing you
look at what we did.
Look at all of this.
I do, and Martin knows this. I love in video games Naughty Dog does a great job of this. Of you're gonna climb this huge wall, so to show you, we're gonna zoom out, show you how fucking awesome it is, and then as you climb, the camera starts zooming back.
Yeah, there's no need for that in a video game,
right?
But it's
right.
fun.
But you're like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Make it enjoyable. Martin, okay, what's your pick versus what do you think is going to win?
I think Inside Out 2 takes it.
I agree.
Nice.
It did get snubbed at Golden Globes. It did get snubbed at BAFTAs, I believe.
Was it Wild Robot?
No, Flo won at Golden Globes.
I see, and I can see Flo.
Jimmy's seen
Flo
it.
is taking people, but
it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I can see Flo.
It's the year that small French animation team won for Abominable or whatever.
Yeah,
right? Those random animation houses that end up sneaking a really good story.
And they're does Disney need another one? Does DreamWorks need another? Do you know what I mean?
Do we need to give it to
Flo
the
could be
usual
that
suspects,
underdog story that is everyone
Totally.
talks about this.
Totally.
Right? And from what it sounds like, they deserve it. It sounds. I've only read good things about it.
I like when small when animation houses win because it usually means that they go on to work for a bigger production company.
That's right.
Or they can reinvest in theirs.
Yeah.
And then you see an animation this year has made an impact on me. I think I'm finally in my stride of incorporating it on a choice.
Yeah.
Not so much on if there's nothing else I'll watch it. Because Wild Robot just warmed my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's Inside Out for Martin. Charles?
I could see, you know what? I'll go Flo. I think Flo will win. I haven't seen it yet, but I think Flo's going to win.
I want Wild Robot to win, but I think Flo is going to win, and I'll be very surprised if Inside Out wins.
Yeah.
Inside Out won at the box office. It was almost
destroyed,
$2
right?
billion.
Yeah, right away.
And I love it. I want to watch the first one now because I want to see where she was when she was a little girl.
You never saw the first one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, first one's great,
but
man.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
I cried hard in the first one. I actually got more emotional in the first one than the second one because I did not expect it to do that.
I'm just
whereas
telling
in the
you.
second one, I was like, it's gonna make me cry.
Can I be honest with you? I identify more with a teen girl than a young girl.
You might be shocked, man. Just wait.
Okay, so there's best animated feature check. Now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of shit. Best original screenplay, listener, means it was not derived or adapted from anything else. It was from someone's mind. They thought it, they wrote it, and they're being
substance.
So the substance is September 5th. I don't know anything about.
I could see a real pain as well too.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
that's Jesse, right?
Yeah, but it also feels like it's trying to be sideways, but is a more depressing version of.
Yeah.
And
the indie movie, you mean?
The indie movie. But I know it's very sweet. I've seen it. I liked it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's
up against The Substance, which is
so good.
It's a big fucking chance, right?
And again, The Substance isn't something we haven't it's not like, wow, no one's ever thought of this, but the way it's done and the way it's told and the way it's written is like, whoa.
You could have written it from a story and included those themes.
Yeah.
Or you're writing this journey happening to these two women, but
it's like The Fly. It reminds me a lot of The Fly.
Yeah.
You're just seeing someone slowly and then all at once.
Well, in the interaction,
go down a very scary spiral.
The dialogue's very slow.
It is at first.
And then it slowly starts
Right.
once things start to happen to her and she starts to break the rules.
But then it
that's
gets
when-
and it gets into it right away, and it sets the bar. Like the movie's opening up with her doing her aerobics and then her walking, and you're seeing.
No, you're missing the whole.
Oh yeah, the star thing was so cool.
The star was
yeah.
so you were,
and she brings it back at the end, which I didn't expect.
juxtapositioning the life of someone's star.
Yeah.
With how it's treated in the Walk of Fame was perfect.
And then her walking to her dressing room. It shows her from
when
she started.
Yeah.
The first poster all the way, and then
now I'm an aerobic star, and that's all I've got left.
And before you get to the end, she goes to the washroom, and then that's when the whole thing with what's his face? Because Dennis Quaid doesn't know she's in the washroom.
That's
remember?
Right?
It's like she's gross. She's gross. I want someone hot.
Yeah,
bring me only
one.
someone hot. Yeah.
So
sorry,
I don't know, Martin.
I love the substance.
Martin, what are your thoughts?
Just looking at the category, it's got to be the substance for me, just because it's the most out there out of all the other movies.
I think it's the biggest risk of an original screenplay.
Well, and you're critiquing the industry.
Screenplay is the biggest. Yeah, it's the most out there.
Yeah,
it's
the most original, I would say.
Honora isn't. I mean, again, Honora is like it's the American dream at its core, right?
It's the OnlyFans American dream.
It's the OnlyFans American dream, really.
Yeah.
As for storytelling and writing, it doesn't really slap, as the kids would say. Like there's no real. It's not biting.
Well, it seems like the edge with this movie is it's about a sex worker, because that's what I've heard.
It's all in the character.
Yeah,
it's not in the writing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the substance for original. Martin, Charles, I think
substance for me.
I'd say substance.
It's what I want to win, and it's what
I'd be
think
a sick
wins.
win. Like I think that would be so cool. And again, horror. It'd be cool to give a shout out to something horror related.
Like body horror too,
right.
Not even traditional.
Because the last horror was probably Get Out.
Yeah,
Jordan Peele, I would say, was probably the last.
More than a horror.
Yeah, I'd say it's more. Yeah, right. Whereas this is like really, I'd say
horrific.
Yeah, this is more horrific.
The boob monsters,
especially
amazing.
the ending. The whole last 10 minutes are fucked.
Dudes, I can't look at breast milk anymore. Like I'm fucked.
Yeah, that whole thing was so wild.
All right, so
why were you looking at breast milk before that?
I don't want to talk about it. Chappelle. Thank you. It's not even true. Best supporting actress. Here we go. So,
oh wow, okay, getting right in.
Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown, didn't see it. Ariana Grande, Wicked. Felicity Jones,
insane.
The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini, Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
In Conclave, and Zoe Saldana and Amelia Perez. Why is Ariana Grande insane? Like, this is a movie about a magical place.
Ariana Grande was fun and Wicked. She surprised me. I didn't think she was that like comical and whatnot, but an Oscar? No.
I'll tell you why I have a problem.
Oscar's supposed to be like best. Like out of all the performances,
yes,
you should get an award. That's insane.
And for you to get an award that is defined as you are supporting the lead.
Yeah.
I understand that they pushed this female friendship of support.
Yeah.
And compassion and care and all these themes in the story. That doesn't mean that your character doing those things
Correct.
means you should be nominated for the best. I don't like when a singer, including Lady Gaga, gets nominated for something someone puts a lot of time into and then just decides because they're career adjacent gets nominated their first jump out the gate.
I see.
It is.
You wanted her to win for Harley Quinn.
It diminishes Zoe Saldana's performance by including Ariana Grande, because Ariana Grande is a singer who tried acting. Zoe Saldana is an actor.
I totally get what you're saying.
That's my problem with how it works politically.
For sure. But like, and that's a very valid point. I'm just saying, just breaking it down in terms of talent. No,
I agree. Yeah. She's like, a child star.
She surprised me.
Yeah.
Like for Ariana,
she's good for the role.
She was surprised me for Ariana Grande, but that doesn't mean Oscar. Are you
I think
insane?
we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
That it's not an Oscar-worthy performance.
No,
I think we're all in agreement for that.
She did great for her, which is great. You go, girl. But Oscar,
I'm voting Zoe Saldana.
I'm voting Zoe
Saldana.
Zoe Saldana took a risk with her career being.
Yeah.
So we've got Zoe Saldana in Marvel. We've got Zoe Saldana in Avatar. Like, she is part of the $1 billion success system.
Yeah.
For her to go and do this and for it to be a flop.
Yeah.
To do a Martin, I don't know if you haven't seen it yet. There's like 15 production houses that made this movie.
Yeah.
It was very small.
It's pretty insane.
Like, it was one for art. It wasn't one for the studios.
Yeah.
So to get nominated for that, to take a risk, this is what I'm talking about. Putting Ariana Grande in the same category is offensive to that performance. As crazy as the movie is, It's offensive to the performance of an actor who goes, I've done billion-dollar movies. I'm going to take one.
Because you're basically saying Ariana did just as good as Zoe, and it's
we
like
can't
no.
say that.
No.
But you do say that.
We
But
can't
by
say
giving
what's offensive to these actors because we're not
For sure.
them.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Maybe they're just like, oh,
For sure.
What if you're just like that person's like, oh, Ariana Grande's in it. That's one less person for me to worry about. I'm one step closer. to fucking Oscar.
Totally.
I
That's
think of
very
it that
true.
way.
Well,
That's
because
very true.
when I look at this list, as soon as I saw Ariana Grande, I was like, well, she's definitely not getting it, and all these other actresses are.
Like it's
I'm sure they're all happy. They're all just like, Jesus,
Yeah,
that's one less competition for me to win it.
Yeah.
I am.
But I think it's Zoe Saldana, man. I think that was the best part. When I tell anybody about Amelia Perez, I'm like, you should watch it for her performance.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Within the first 15 minutes, I was like, wow.
If it's anything
Blown away.
else,
Blown away.
If it's anything else, it's Isabel Rossellini's.
Just because, man, I haven't even seen the movie, but fuck, she's an incredible actress. And what? I think she's won an Oscar already.
She has.
So good.
I think she did David Lynch. She's a David Lynch.
No, she won. I'm pretty
Blue
sure she
Velvet.
won an Oscar. I'm pretty sure. And Felicity Jones is great.
Also, yeah.
I haven't seen.
She plays the wife in The Brutalist.
And I haven't seen it, but I know she's a phenomenal actress.
I know that movie
love
is going to
her.
clean house just because of you. If you watch enough movies, listener, like we do,
They love that Brody.
you just know what ends up. And I'm not saying you don't, listener, but I'm just saying if you consume an insane amount of movies, you know what gets nominated because if you watch the Oscars, you see trends, right?
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
You don't know how good the movie is, but you know it will be a movie of nomination.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're all in agreement. Zoe Saldana.
I think she's taking it for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, the Green Machine wins. The other Green Machine.
Yeah.
Best Actress: Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. That's Amelia
That's Amelia.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Mikey Madsen, Honora, Demi Moore, The Substance, Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here. That is the daughter of a famous Brazilian actress who's also nominated for an award during her heyday.
Oh, I see.
It's there. It's on the international films list.
Yeah, I
She
know.
won- she won- she
that
won
was
a-
cool.
She won a Golden Globes.
She did. Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is why I think she's a contender.
I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it
I haven't
either.
seen it. I'm on Team Moore. I want Demi to win so bad. I really loved her performance. I thought it was great, and I didn't think. I was blown away from the beginning, but when it went to the point of her wearing that suit and getting like Quasimodo'd, I didn't see her ever. I didn't think I would see her do that, and it was awesome.
Martin, what are your thoughts on Substance?
I'm going first. I'm a big fan of Substance, so I'm all for Demi Moore winning it. Has she
It's
won
her
an
time.
Oscar before?
No, she's never even
been nominated.
This is her first nomination.
Yeah, I hope she wins it.
Me too. Cynthia, I will say with Cynthia, that is way more deserving than Ariana, like just being honest.
Fucker played Harriet Tubman in the HBO thing. Was killer.
Yeah.
Great
Like,
in
she's a phenomenal actress. She was great in this. And what's really interesting about, again, what I liked about Wicked with her character was obviously in Wizard of Oz, she's the villain. But seeing this, she did a really good job of really making you not. Even by the end, I'm like, she's the fucking hero. I don't see her as the villain.
Well,
the tragic hero is
it's
really
not the story of the hero versus the villain. It's the story of how the villain became the villain.
Right.
And most villains are good people before they decide to do dumb
and
shit.
she's
It's
good.
the Karate Kid thing over.
It is
again.
the Karate Kid thing. 100% it is. So, but what I say is her performances, I agree with that one more.
Okay.
Way more than.
And I mean,
I don't think she should win, but I
think she
agree
should
with
win
it.
alone for what I saw, how she had to sing, being rotated on the
So
wire
that was
and
insane.
perform. Like,
and when you see it in the movie and you realize she's actually being thrown around, you're like, that's amazing.
these are the
she's
things that I'm
singing
saying
well.
why she's also a contender because
Yeah.
you're being the best at a thing while someone's making you do another thing.
Yeah.
Having to
And something
figure out
that you're
this
really
thing.
scared about.
Yes.
Because like she's like, oh, you want me to belt out a song? No problem. Oh, you're going to fucking spear me around? Okay, I don't know if I can do it. And she started like, right?
Yeah.
So it starts making you then not be as confident with the thing you are confident with because you're like, oh, fuck. You said Mikey was good.
Okay, so Honora is a simple story of a Cinderella tale, a stripper who meets a Russian billionaire oligarch's son. And he's an absolute idiot. He's at the
Just
height
lucky,
of
eh?
he's at the height of his boners. He's got all the money in the world. His parents are nowhere to be
Richard
found.
Gere. He's
Yeah,
Richard Gere.
yeah.
He's Richard Gere, really,
yeah.
So, but he ends up marrying her on a whim.
So
And then the parents find out and they're like, "This is not happening."
Yeah,
Look up.
yeah.
So then they fly to America, and then they have to fly to Vegas to annul the wedding, and then she gets caught up and captured by the billionaire security team in America.
Wow.
Who happens to be a Russian priest.
So this is like a very like I shouldn't say meta, but it's very relevant to something that would happen now.
Yeah,
let's
like
say.
it's contemporary.
Yes,
right? Like
yeah,
it would
contemporary
happen,
is what I mean.
It would
Yeah,
definitely happen in New York.
Right.
And it's just her rise and fall of maybe getting out of being a stripper.
Gotcha.
And then realizing that her life is what it is, but she can make it different, right? So
right.
Her performance, though, she got into, you believe that she is a stripper trying to get a piece of the American dream. And by any means necessary, including marrying a fucking Russian billionaire's son.
Kind of like Demi Moore in Striptease.
Yeah, very, right? So
Demi did it first, man.
Mikey's great in inheriting what a stripper is. Very sexy, very sexual.
But also broken.
Very naked, but also very broken and very guarded. Like, even with her clothes off, she's still tough.
Right.
But she's just getting what she feels is due and then gets screwed over in the deal. Because eventually she finds out that the Russian kid really could give a fuck, right? Like, he's a billionaire's son.
Right.
She's replaceable.
Right.
And
if we're talking about performances, what about a performance puts her in this category? What's
the fact that she went as far... I don't think she's an actress. I think she's a stripper.
Oh, you're right. Like, she embodied the
I
character.
believe that if I met her on the street, I wouldn't see Mikey Madison. I would say...
So she went full mechanic. She went full mechanic.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, Marissa Tomei, the wrestler. Like, that was... That specific role of her playing that.
Sorry, the machinist. The machinist. She went full machinist.
Yeah. Like, you just forget that... And I mean, I know she hasn't done a lot of stuff, but you are told that this is Mikey Madison.
Dude,
so I go,
Once Upon a Time.
I know. Well,
Hollywood.
Which big in the end, but
Scream.
Like,
that's what
like,
literally what I remember for most. And I was
but
like,
those
holy
are
shit.
things that are bit parts, right?
Yeah.
So you just go, oh, I know her from that. But
and to start your career this early on this high of a note with a nomination,
yes,
it can only get better.
So that's what I'm saying is that if you saw her, guys, you would ask for a table dance. You forget that she's an actress, right? So
Demi won at the Golden Globes.
Yes, she did.
Fernanda also won at the Golden Globes. Did
Yes.
Mikey win anything at the? I think she won BAFTA.
She won BAFTA. She won BAFTA.
Was there anything in the Golden Globes?
No,
for Mikey?
there wasn't.
Demi
won a Golden Globes for Best Actress. But what's interesting is it's now the topic that you can talk about, talking about independent sex workers and women's rights and the power that women have over men via whatever mechanics they can use. There's a lot of themes in the movie.
Right.
It's now replaced Amelia for Best Actress because the Oscars still need to be not so white, not so men.
Right.
And this is the jaded asshole.
And they still have their edgy movie.
They still have their edgy movie. So it checks the edgy box. It checks the...
Because again, the Oscars, as much as they're all like, no, we love movie, there's a political agenda, and they made it very clear this year.
Yeah. So
there's a very political angle.
There always is, right?
Always is.
If we didn't hear about the marketing, then there wouldn't be any. But so I think Mikey is a contender. I think it's Mikey, Cynthia, or Demi. I want it to be Demi. But I'm also fine with now seeing a Nora that it could be, and I know how good Cynthia is. I don't need to see Wicked to know that it's
Yeah, for sure.
Martin, what about you?
I'd like to see Demi take it. Like I told you already.
Yeah.
Off the top. I'd like to
Demi.
see her take it.
I say Demi. I think you're right. I think it's going to be between Mikey and Demi because now that Carla's out of
But I also know that if you give it to Demi, it's so deserved because you can tie it back to the Golden Globe. And giving it to a first-time nominated actress, as good as the performance is, the fact that she's nominated is a win for her career. I don't think the Oscar. I think the Oscars want to give it to Hollywood royalty,
but it's
for Best Actress. Then I do. Then they she's due.
It's like Brendan Fraser.
Yes,
who did the best job though?
Yeah,
I think it should always I hate how they do that.
I agree with you.
Who did the best
You're
job?
right,
I totally agree with you. That's why I'm like. If they really care about it being
that's
inclusive,
who should and who we want, right? Who should is
and if they really care about inclusive, then it's best performance. Doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever you identify. Best performance.
If we shift to best performance in a comedy genre, action,
then
suspense,
it's more
thriller
fair.
and horror.
Yeah.
It's a Nora the substance for me.
But Demi Moore
again.
But with Demi Moore, it's a lot like Brendan Fraser. I'm not saying the role wasn't amazing, but it was overdue. And it's the same with Demi. It's long overdue.
When you're as good as Demi in the role,
it's
easier to have the argument that now she's due because she's worked so hard.
It's also she was out of work for not out of work, but she's not as prominent of an actress as even like Helen Mirren still is. Being honest, right?
Yeah.
Like Demi's now, in the last 5 years, but in the last 10, she hasn't done a lot of movies.
Margin Call is
right?
a movie that I remember.
Yeah, right? Like nothing crazy. So the fact that she came out of nowhere, and this is the riskiest movie she's ever done in her career. And it's awesome that she did that at almost 60 years old, right? Right? So props.
Okay. I think we've kicked that dead horse to death. Best adapted screenplay. So this is based off of a book or a comic or a short. It's based off something that was already pre-written. So we have a
Spider-Man's not on the list. That's weird.
a complete
A
complete unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing.
So is Amelia and I guess Sing Sing because they were
Amelia Perez is a graphic novel.
It is?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow. And
not all graphic novels have capes.
No, but what I'm saying is like that's a good one. But what they're adapted because they were okay. So Amelia Perez was a graphic novel, and then Sing Sing because it was a play first.
Yes.
That's still adapted.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just adapted off a previous piece.
I'm gonna say Nickel Boys because I have no idea what the fuck that is.
I got no idea about Nickel Boys either.
I have no idea.
I've seen posters. I don't know what the fuck it's about.
No idea what that is. So I'll go Nickel Boys. That sounds fun.
I'm gonna do Conclave because
it's adapted by the Vatican.
Yeah, the Vatican.
The Bible.
It's based off the most.
A story from the Bible.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do that because it's a political thriller in the conclave.
Right.
So
right.
Those.
Well, and the Pope's not doing so good right now, so it might be very relevant to what's going to happen in the next week.
Voting closed already, so the Pope's.
I did it.
Yeah.
The envelopes switch all the time, Michael.
I mean, a complete unknown. I don't think is going to get for adapted. I mean, who really cares about Bob Dylan?
I don't even understand how that makes sense.
It's probably based on a book
because it's based on his life.
Yeah, it was based on a book.
Oh, right. That's right.
So, but I think Conclave just because. Those kinds of books are bestsellers.
Right.
So when you get a baked-in audience, because I don't see a baked-in audience for Amelia Perez.
What about Nickel Boys?
I don't know what it is.
That's why I think it might.
I'm not even
because everyone will be like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's great, but yeah. So I don't know.
Just no idea.
I think Conclave. Martin.
I've seen none of these movies, so I can't vote.
It's a hard one, eh?
No, you have to vote because it's a blank, and if you win, everyone's gonna be mad at you. It's like going all in and
not for Furiosa.
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I love that.
I just can't vote because I've seen none of these. I've seen none of these.
All right,
movies.
Martin bows out. Charles.
Oh, sorry. Original screenplay. Sorry, I just wanted to add Civil War should have been on that list.
Civil War was great.
I can't believe Civil War got nominated for nothing. Nothing. Not even performances.
That was a good one.
Like Jesse
adapted for Civil.
Jesse Plemons for supporting.
I would have voted for that.
Yeah, Civil War
in an America-charged political world.
I know, I get it, but I'm saying again, that movie to me was one of the best.
We got
movies.
4 more. Pick an adapted screenplay.
Nickel Boys.
Okay,
I know nothing. I'm going Nickel Boys.
Nickel Boys, Furiosa not nominated, and Conclave. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Best supporting actor. We have Yura Borislav, which is one of the guys who Honora is been placed in. Honora is handled by one of these guys.
Have we seen him?
You've never seen him in anything.
Oh, okay.
You've never seen him.
But he's good? Like, is that...
He's, again, why are we nominating Ariana Grande?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe this is... Okay. Hang on. You're a Borislav. I think this is who I think it is, but it could also be the guy who plays the billionaire's son. So let me just confirm this before I speak out of school.
This is you know what? I love Guy Pearce and Edward Norton. I haven't seen their roles. Like, I haven't seen their performances, but I like the two of them. That's cool.
Yeah, they just spelled his name wrong. His name is Yuri Borisov, but in here it's called Yura Borisov. And if he's done anything else, movies and
I think
shows.
his nickname is Yura.
Okay, great.
It says Yuri Alexandrovich Yura Borisov.
It's probably like for casting because he's like,
guys, he's done he's done a lot of independent stuff, but he hasn't done anything that you'd know him in.
Did he stand out to you?
He's one of the guys that helps kidnap her and keep her in their possession until they can get the marriage annulled. And he's very quiet. His moves are very subtle, but he plays a big part in the end.
Oh, I see.
And in the end, it all comes together as to what he was. So
it's like a build-up performance kind of thing.
You watch little moves that turn into about 15 minutes of stock.
All right.
So I'm okay with him being nominated in this.
Yeah.
But he is also comic relief. Like, he's funny.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Then we've got Kieran Culkin, Real Pain, Edward Norton, Complete Unknown.
And Kieran won the Golden Globe?
Kieran won the Golden Globe. Okay. Edward Norton plays Woody Guthrie in A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, who is apparently who we think is the
culprit.
The culprit. And Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, who plays Donald Trump's trainer.
Yeah.
His lawyer.
So part of me thinks the Oscars did this just so that they could get Kieran and Jeremy to go up against each other again, because everyone loved that at
Everyone
the
loved
Golden
it at
Globes.
yeah, because of Succession.
Right. So, because when I saw that, I was like, that's too much of a coincidence for me. Although I hear Jeremy Strong
is
is
going to vote for both Succession people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got.
I heard he's
to.
good in it. You saw The Apprentice, right?
We were going to watch it the other night, and we switched to Anora instead.
Gotcha. But I hear it's good. Like, I hear he's really good in it.
Yeah, I mean,
when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, yeah, it's definitely Jeremy going nuts.
I believe a lot of it was pulled from The Art of the Deal. Like,
yeah, that's what it is. It's all based on it.
And
then
it's
their characters.
Roy Cohn, his lawyer, who's like, nobody wins, nobody loses, you always win. Rule number 1. Rule number 2.
But that's what he is in the book. Like, if
He
you've
is,
seen
yeah.
any of the excerpts in the book, that's what it is. It's exactly like
Jeremy
that.
Strong. I'm not a method actor, but
just
he's a fucking method actor.
I also think he's a psychopath. Like, he scares me a little bit.
Scares me
I
too.
don't like him.
I
love Guy Pearce and Edward Norton. I really love the two of them.
Yeah,
and
but
I don't think either of them have won an Oscar.
I don't know what Guy
was he
Pearce
nominated for? Do you know? It says he's nominated for one thing, but I don't know what it was.
Who's this?
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce?
Memento?
the
I'm trying to think.
The Count of Monte Cristo?
Oh, maybe. That was a good one.
I don't know a lot of things that Guy Pearce has done. That's
Memento, Count of Monte Cristo. He plays in Prometheus and all that.
Oh yeah, he plays the old
Yeah.
aging. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I like him. Like, I do really like him.
Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain does a real good job.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that's who's going to get picked because he plays a little bit of a manic. He's a little broken. The relationship between the two boys. I don't know if I was in like a jaded mood that day, but I wasn't really affected by the two cousins and their story of like.
Sorry, Guy Pearce got nominated for L.A. Confidential.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's what it was. That's
that makes really good sense. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, that was the other movie that I was like, fuck.
David Lynch, right?
No. L.A. Confidential? No, I don't
not
think it
David
was
Lynch.
David Lynch.
Whatever. Yeah, may he rest. For a pick, I'm going Kieran Culkin.
Oh, you are?
I think I'm going to go Kieran Culkin on this one.
Okay.
Jeremy Strong's performance in it, I think they could have been both nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah.
But he's supporting the Trump character, so therefore we have to...
Well, that's why I don't like, and I mean, that's why I think it's ridiculous. I think part of it is why they're doing it is to just be topical with Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump's going to say something, right? So.
Martin, you're just because of Succession, either Culkin or Strong.
I was going to do Succession votes for me.
Yeah.
I like Guy Pearce, Edward Norton. I like them also.
I haven't seen
all of these guys do good work.
I haven't seen any of these performances, but just based on the Golden Globes, I'm going to go Kieran.
Yeah, I think this is a. I think this is a straight because I think he won BAFTA too.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. I think he's clean sweeping right now.
All right,
from peeing in the bed to getting nominated for Oscars.
Yeah,
right? From being pushed off from being pushed off a cliff in The Good Son.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Fuller, you wet the bed again. Best actor. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes, Conclave, Sebastian Stan, Apprentice. This is, I honestly, sorry, listener, I should speak.
I'm kind of digging Coleman Domingo from Fear the Walking Dead right now.
Oh yeah,
did he do Fear the Walking
Strand
Dead?
in Fear the Walking Dead. He was like one of the main characters in that show.
I didn't know
Best
that.
character on that show.
I think Timothée Chalamet's nomination's bullshit.
Okay, we have to understand though that he does perform.
Sure.
Okay, the Oscars love.
He wrote a sandworm in Dune.
I know he did, but he
that was awesome.
That's way cooler.
I know it's way cooler.
He should have been nominated for that.
But he also learned how to play guitar, and sing, and then proved it on the SNL show.
Yes, but anybody can sing like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan doesn't sing.
Bob Dylan and Neil Young do.
Like Elvis is way harder than Bob Dylan, I would say.
I agree.
But then Elvis didn't write a lot of his songs.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying if I had to play,
good point, Martin.
If I had to do a character of either or, I'd say
watch the
Elvis
Dylan
would be
fans;
harder.
they'll come for you, right?
Oh, they already will.
People dumped him when he went plugged in. That's the
oh yeah.
Like an artist is an artist, right?
Yeah,
like, plugged in or unplugged, who fucking cares? But people are like, I can't stand the electric. I don't like new Dylan.
Which is so stupid.
Fuck off! It's Dylan.
So
if you
dumb.
think he's brilliant, it doesn't stop.
I also find it so dumb. It's like, they're making it seem like when Andre 3000 was like, I'm just going to come out with an album playing flute. Like that's a big like, holy shit! I don't know if I can get into that.
Jazz flute, like Ron
right?
Burgundy.
Like yeah.
I think it's The Brutalist, to tell you the truth. Just
because of the
Has
pianist.
Adrian won before?
Yes,
the
he has.
pianist.
Yeah, the pianist.
And he
the
made,
pianist. Yeah,
and then he
that's
made
right,
out
that
with
was
Halle Berry when she won.
And that was a big problem. And that, a lot of people brought that back recently to stop him from winning an award. And also when
she won. It wasn't even when he won.
Yeah, he presented.
It was
and
when she won.
And he also got in trouble again for the
Oh
Jamaican
no,
reggae.
she presented to him. Sorry, it was when he won for the pianist.
No, you are right.
She
Yep.
presented because she won the year before. That's why she presented it
for
and then
Monsters
he just
Ball.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he just made out with her hard.
I mean, that is what all the critics are saying is a brilliant performance. It is as
They
good
love
or
Brody.
on par with the pianist.
They love Brody, dude.
It's another.
Well, he won. Adrian Brody won the Golden Globes, right? For
yeah,
actor?
he did.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he won the BAFTA, I think, too.
Yeah, I think he's going to take it.
As
I think
much
so,
as
too.
I love Coleman Domingo, and I know Sing Sing is a really cool story about.
They mean Sing Sing like prison, right? Like Sing Sing prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
yeah, yeah.
a guy who creates a theater group in Sing Sing
Oh
prison.
shit. Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, I want to watch it just for the feels, but I think it's Adrian Brody or Timothy Chalamet. Ralph Fiennes, not. I mean, he plays a guy who picks the Pope. He's not the Pope, so whatever. Sebastian Stan finally getting some credit.
But he should have been nominated for the other one.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been
A
nominated.
Different
for
Man
this.
is way more.
I'm not saying his performance isn't good as Trump, but fuck Trump. It should have been. The other one like was a
I also
performance.
think they want to give a lot to that because of how much hard work they went into getting it to get released.
I know.
No one wanted
That's what
to
it is.
distribute
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
All right. So
Even Sebastian Stan's reaction to finding out, he was like,
really?
"Oh,
Okay.
You could tell he was like, "Okay."
Martin,
Thank
Charles. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're an Adrian Brody podcast to begin with. So
I think legally we have to say
legally
Adrian.
on contract we do. So Adrian Brody
I think
win.
it's we're a Wes Anderson podcast, and Adrian Brody just has to be in all his
Yeah,
movies.
right.
So that's what we are.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I think somehow it's worked its way into our life. We got two left, listener, and then we can let you go home.
Sorry, I wanted to say
oh, sure.
a snub for Best Actress was Kirsten Dunst for Civil War.
Really, you hold that movie in high regard.
I really love that. That was my
Okay.
favorite movie of last year.
Sure.
That was my favorite movie.
Sure.
Best Supporting Actor snub was Jesse Plemons for Civil War. I will
Wow.
say as well too.
Did Alex Garland call you before today?
I thought that was the best movie last year, man, and
Dude,
it got
if you don't
nothing.
plug me, I'm going to come for you.
It
I'm going
got
to Civil
nothing.
War your ass.
It got.
I agree. I totally agree that it's a good movie.
It blew. It was one of the hardest movies for me to watch last year because of how it was like so well done. And I love a world where Canadian money is valuable.
That's funny.
I hate that it takes that to happen.
I'll
but
find you the link after the show for his new movie. You're going to love it even more.
Who, Alex Garland?
Alex Garland's. It's,
What's
not,
his
it's
new movie?
another. It's another war movie.
Oh, I saw the preview for that, and he wrote it with an actual war vet or something.
He wrote it with a special operator.
Yeah, sweet.
We are on to Best Director. So we got Nora Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Bradley Corbett. I mean, not Colbert.
I like Corbett.
I like Corbett. Complete Unknown,
Corbett
James
too.
Mangold, Amelia Perez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Farget. Coralie Farget?
Farget. I like Farget.
Okay, Farget. I think it's Bradley Corbett because when you pick the best actor for a movie, you usually end up picking that movie's director,
Saving Private Ryan.
right? Like
They didn't do it with that one.
No, they didn't.
No.
So they gave it to Spielberg, but they didn't give it to Hanks. Or they gave it to Hanks and not Spielberg.
No, they gave it to Spielberg, not to
Not
Hanks,
to Hanks.
and then it didn't get Best Picture. Fucking Shakespeare loved it.
But that's what I'm saying is that if we are right that Brody wins for Best
Oh, I see what
Actor,
you're saying. Right,
my
right.
prediction
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that it's also Bradley Corbett because he's won so much so far with.
I want The Substance.
I don't deny you that.
I
that's
know,
and
that would be such a wild card for the Oscars. Like I don't think anyone would expect.
I would
that.
love to see something that gory
Edgy.
and
Yeah.
edgy win
Totally.
for Best Director.
Totally.
That creates a
Right?
whole new realm.
Totally.
Because what we're forgetting here too is it also when this director wins and that story wins, that means that story's marketable.
That's what I mean. And they're saying you should watch this.
Martin, what do you think?
For me, it's the top two or the bottom one. So it's either Anora. I could see Anora taking it. The Brutalist, also I agree. And then Substance is what I want to win.
Those are the top three, I think. If we looked at the odds, I think we'd all be in the top three of
I think it's
everything.
bullshit, though. I don't know if James Mangold has been nominated before.
Yeah.
But if this is the first...
Not Carter. Cash.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that's
when both of them won that year. For
But
Best
again, out of
Actor.
all his movies, it's lame that he's getting nominated for these biopics. Like, didn't he do 310 to Yuma?
I believe so.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
How the fuck did he not get nominated for directing that one?
Because it's a Western.
I know, but
and they've
that's
already given it.
horseshit.
They already gave it to Unforgiven for Clint Eastwood, so they're like every 50 years.
All right,
Yeah.
no westerns for 20 years.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
such a
Just
hor-
put it.
No, but True Grit. I think
True Grit. Yeah, True
that
Grit.
swept the year, or
That
that made
did.
a big
Yeah,
impact
that
the year.
was-
it
yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Westerns make their way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's a little annoying how they do it. But
I can sleep well if Brutalist, Substance, or Honora win. And Sean Baker's loved.
That. Like that's what I think is gonna win.
Like
Yeah.
Florida
What's
Project
getting
was
hype right now.
a big
he
one.
did do Florida
He did
Project.
Florida
was
Project.
Awesome. That was great.
He also did Red Rocket. Like he's
Shit.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
He's
All
Mr.
right.
Indie.
All right.
And again,
What about Alex Garland?
but what's the snub here though, guys? Denny. It's Denny.
Yeah, Denny's a huge
Denny
snub.
Villeneuve snub
Denny's
for best
the big
director.
snub.
Like,
Yeah, why isn't Dune here?
how are you allowing it for best picture?
Yes,
But,
but,
like,
not a director.
It's the Beyonce
Correct.
Grammy argument, right?
Yeah,
You've never
yeah.
given her album of the artist
Yeah.
of the year, or album of the year, whatever it was, but you've given
Also
her every other
wild.
award.
That's also a great one. Of all the albums that woman has made, she gets album of the year with her country album. That a whole genre of people or a whole demographic of people are like, it's not country. I just think
It's
that's
Beyonce country.
fucking hilarious.
It's country for Beyonce's
It is
fans.
country. I went, so you know what I said to them? I'm like, well, what would you list it as? Because I wouldn't list it as hip hop. So what the fuck do you list it as, asshole? Listen to it. If you're listening to the same one I am, I wouldn't say it's hip hop.
Hey man, she already did a bit with the chicks.
Yeah.
And that was a great hit.
Yeah,
So, like,
dude.
she's from Texas.
I know, but
Why
it's so
she-
funny. They're all like, it's not country. I'm like, but it's not hip hop. So what is it?
Yeah.
So what are we? What
Is
are we
it not-
saying?
is it not 90s
And then you see
country?
them. They go, oh well, yeah, dude. Also, black people have been making country music since it started.
Yeah, dude.
Get over it.
All right. We're at the end here, listener. We're at the end of the night. It's the end of the Oscars. Even though the Oscars still have to happen and you need another 3 hours for that.
Yeah.
Best picture. We've got Nora.
I'm going Nickel Boys.
Brutalist. Let me get this out. Shush. Brutalist. Complete Unknown. Conclave. Dune Part 2. Amelia Perez. I'm Still Here. Nickel Boys. The Substance. And Wicked. Martin, what is your best picture pick?
I want Dune to win because I love that movie so much. I think that was my favorite movie of last year.
Yeah.
Easily.
That was a good one.
And like I said, it was I was talking to Charles, pretty slim pickings for this year's nominations.
Oh, this
so I was kind of
Oscars this year
disappointed.
sucks.
It's not one of those.
It's the most
insanely-
underwhelming lists
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
It's what is happening is you're getting a lot of movies that don't have an ending that you're supposed to decide. You're getting a lot of artistic stories that aren't rooted in.
Stop giving us the Sopranos
contemporary
ending. We don't
society.
want
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, Honora does that.
Yeah.
Honora does it for sure.
Also, can I just say this is incredible. As far as I can see here, Nickel Boys, which a movie I have no idea what the fuck is, got nominated for 2 Oscars, one of which being Best Fucking Picture. What the fuck?
And the other one was original screenplay.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's an
But
original
no
story.
directing, no acting,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Well,
what the fuck?
Okay,
That's crazy.
I'll point out as somebody who knows how white the Oscars can be, Nickel Boys is a black story.
Oh, so that's
maybe they were like scraps, right?
Yeah.
Sadly enough, like how they think.
I know.
right? I'm not saying.
I'm just saying it's so weird. It's just
It
weird
is
to
very
me
weird
that
how-
a movie that would make the list of Best Picture isn't in anything else.
It's an unbelievable
It's
original
very
idea.
weird.
It's a best movie, but the director who got it there
Yeah.
or the actors in
Right.
it aren't
Not
nominated.
good.
How do you separate that distinction? That makes
You
no
would
fucking
think-
sense.
You would think something in Best Picture would at least have something in the acting, something
Yeah.
in, like something. It's just weird, especially for a movie. I have no idea.
If
I don't
Nickel
know.
Boys wins, we're all going to
Oscars
look like
is
fools.
so weird. It's the coda.
Oscars so weird.
Is that their coda?
Yeah,
That's their
Oscar's
coda.
so weird.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to be...
this is the 97.
Okay, I'm like Martin. I want Dune to win, but I think The Brutalist is going to get it.
You think so, eh?
Yeah. And that's because it's A24.
Substance.
Again,
That would be so
that's a want.
cool.
I don't
That
think
would
it
be
can get
so
that
cool.
far. I don't
No,
think it,
no. The fact that it got nominated for Best Picture was huge.
Yes.
I never thought it would even get that. Right?
Martin, what are your thoughts on Nickel Boys.
I've
What did you
never
think
even heard of it until today.
We all have to watch this movie just to be like, what? I know. I didn't even know what the hell this was. When I saw it on the list, I was like, what?
And it's an Orion picture. Orion,
I know.
Amazon.
I know.
Like, do you guys remember Orion?
I know.
Like, it was just the stars, and then Orion would show up on the background.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It was one of those United Artists.
Yeah. Exactly.
kind
Those old
of,
production
studios.
Oh, I
houses.
know
Yeah.
the author whose book this is based off of.
Yeah? What's
He
the
wrote a
story?
really cool zombie book.
Okay.
Colson Whitehead, back in like maybe 10 years ago.
Okay, what's the story of
It's
Nickel
like
Boys
about
about?
rebuilding civilization after the apocalypse. He's a really
Oh,
good
that's
writer.
cool.
What's
So-
Nickel Boys about?
I don't know.
Well, look it up.
This is wild. So, yeah, I don't think... Okay, so before all the drama, did you think Amelia Perez had a chance of being nominated
Yeah.
Best Picture?
But here's my problem, man. Okay, like, I can have the conversation of why it would be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
It's edgy.
Yeah.
It's new.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
makes
musical.
the Oscars look good.
It's... but here, let me recite all the reasons
Yeah.
why merit-wise it deserves to be there, right?
Yeah.
It takes a chance.
It's edgy. It's risky.
edgy. It's weird, right? Like
Yeah.
when I tell you that it's about a cartel leader wanting to have a sex change to become a woman, and then save the people that the cartel leader murdered by creating a program to find the
know.
dead bodies. Like that's
And
weird.
none of that is my that would be really entertaining if it had a musical element to it.
So those reasons why the Oscars like it and why it's a good movie, yes. But I also think it was there
Yeah.
and was given almost the record for nominations. It's one award shy.
13. Yeah. And at 13.
One award shy.
The most is 14.
The most is 14.
Which one movie is that?
I can't remember.
It's like Ben-Hur or something.
Some
probably.
old
Yeah.
golden age of cinema film.
Or like Gone with the Wind.
I think it's Gone with the Wind.
Probably Gone with the Wind.
That's a good
Yeah.
place to start.
Yeah.
So then I also think that because they were criticized so hard and they're still on a they're trying to. It's a sympathy tour, right? Because they're only out once a year, so it takes
Right.
10 years to make the public realize.
Right.
So we're still in the rebuilding phase.
Titanic has the most nominations.
It's
Thank
Titanic.
you. It's
Four awards.
Titanic.
It's Titanic.
So James
Nominated
Cameron's like,
in 14 of 17 possible categories.
Holy shit! So it almost got nominated in all of them.
because it's not a documentary or a short
or animated.
or international,
Yeah.
or animated.
Wow.
There's 4.
I get it.
But okay, then I also go, yes, that's why it was nominated. That doesn't take away its quality of why it should be nominated. But I think the Oscars got into a I think it's politics.
They went too far. They went too far.
Sorry, it's also La La Land and All About Eve. They're tied for 14.
All About Eve.
Wow, La La Land was 14
Wow.
too. Wow.
See, they love.
See, and another weird one. Like I'm just saying, La La Land nominated for 14. Just saying.
Well, according to Warren Beatty, it was only
looking at-
nominated for 13.
Looking at the numbers, you would think, well, then that's the best movie, and then Moonlight.
Yes.
Very.
But Moonlight
confusing.
was also really good. Like
Moonlight was great.
I
Don't get me wrong. It was great. It was great.
And that deserves.
Did Damien win Best Director? Who won Best Director that year?
I don't know.
I think it was Moonlight.
We got to listen to Adam Davis's podcast.
Yes, that's right. We do.
So I'm gonna stick with the Brutalist. Martin, what are you
I want Dune.
doing? Okay.
I'm going Substance.
I want
Substance.
I
to win.
want Dune to win Best Picture. I think
Yeah.
I think it revitalized cinema. I think a popcorn bucket idea was brilliant. Everybody fucked it, probably. Right? Like
It
there's-
inspired the Deadpool.
it inspired the right
popcorn bucket.
Like just there's so many things about why that movie deserves it, but I think the Oscars will vote The Brutalist because making a 3.5 hour movie about architecture
sounds like the Oscars.
sounds like the Oscars, but
Yeah.
also if it's 3.5 hours and it's nominated, it must be interesting. I have yet to see it.
I'd rather see Calculon do his taxes. Let's just do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
See it for the nomination.
Charles, what's yours?
I honestly, so yeah, I think you're right. I think something like The Brutalist, or I could even see a Nora winning. I could definitely see that, but I think it would be fucking unbelievable to have Dune or The Substance win.
I want Dune to win so
I would
bad.
love if
So bad.
Part of me also wants Nickel Boys to win because I just still don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So
And
that'd
because
be
it
neat.
doesn't have the nominated actors, why is it a great movie? Like if the performances aren't great, why is it one of the best
So the
pictures?
only thing that they're saying that is so amazing about this movie is overall the movie's so good.
Yes.
And the screenplay's fantastic.
The performances
but I
are
can't
good
say
enough.
anything else about it.
The performances are good enough to deserve a best picture nod, but not
So,
good enough to be nominated.
Is it
for
on Amazon? So it's got to be on Prime then.
I don't know where it is.
I gotta look because if it
who's
says
the
it,
production house on it?
well, it's this is the one Orion and Amazon MGM. It's got to be on.
It's got to
Prime.
be on Amazon.
Yeah, it's got to be on Prime.
Well, listener, This has been an up and down roller coaster of politics and cinema and debates and fun. If you disagree, agree, we think we've missed a snub because it's a year of movies we can't condense into 2 hours.
Civil War.
Civil War is a big one. Civil War is a huge snub. If you agree with Charles, if you like Martin's, picks in the dark, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, or if you agree with all of us, we'd love to hear from you. We have a voicemail. It's in the show notes. It's easy to leave a voicemail on your phone. You just hit the website, press record. You get up to 3 minutes to voice your opinion. You can come on as yourself. You can come on as your alias, a pseudonym. If you want to be Clark Kent, I'm not going to fucking stop you. It'd be great to be here from Clark Kent from North Kildonan. That'd be funny.
Oh, God, that's fun.
So make something funny happen. We'd love to fill this segment.
Speaker's Corner.
It's Speaker's Corner for all of you fucking 45-year-olds like me who remember this shit. It's part of an era of call and response. We're calling on you to respond.
I know it's scary to use your phone.
I don't care if you don't, but I love it if you did. You'd make my fucking day if you did.
Yeah.
So leave a voicemail on this or any other episode that you listen to. Come to Trivia, buy your tickets. We hope to see you there. Trivia sold out at Little Brown Jug. March 1st, Seinfeld. Maybe it's possibly sold out by now. If it hasn't, buy yourself a ticket. They're all in the show notes. I've been the Brutalist.
I'm What's Nickel Boys.
I want to watch Dune 2 again.
We've been your real debaters. Say bye, everybody. Watch all the movies, kids.
Nickel Boys.
Nickel.
If you have any problems, dial information. Thank you for calling.